One second. I don't know. How about that? Yeah, try sign language. Oh, that's funny. How about now? We have any audio? Any audio at all? Is it working? Yay? No? Yeah? You got it. Good now. Okay, good. All right. So I am running off the microphone off the laptop. So it might pick up. Let me see if I kill kill some of the background noise that's around. Yeah, we had some microphone issues. It wasn't seeing my wireless mic, and then we were running behind. We had bathroom schedules that were all chaotic. But I think we're good now. We are live. We're up and running. My own Boontog, Magandanu Maga. Good morning. What's everybody up to? It is 7:10 in the morning. It's 81 degrees, and it is the 15th of November, right? We got big low pressure building off to the east. That's got the attention of a lot of people, and they're not forecasting a big storm, but it's something to keep an eye on, right? Odette wasn't supposed to be a big storm, but most of us know how that went. All right, let's catch back up. Sorry, we're a couple minutes late, guys. Like I said, we were dealing with some audio issues, and probably I would suspect the audio might not be as good as it was, just simply because it's kind of like a speakerphone. So we'll get through it though. All right. Yes, travel with Xavier, my own Boontog, Joe and Chris. Another beautiful day. Yes. Hey, Xavier, how's it going, man? So we met this guy in Bohol. Really great guy. As we were wandering around there, he stopped and said hi. So yeah, good morning to you. Check out his channel. He's got a really great channel too. Does a lot of traveling around, similar stuff to what I would like to do as well, where he's traveling around by scooter. He's done a lot of stuff in Mindanao, and we hooked up together in Bohol. He's done some good stuff in Bohol. So hey, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Yes, nice screen. Yeah. Daytona Beach. Yeah, thanks for being here. Daytona's great. So I spent some time quite a bit in Florida area. I lived in Tampa for a while. Anna Maria, Bradenton. I spent some time, on the Gulf Coast of Florida. Really, the Philippines kind of reminds me of that in a lot of ways, as far as the temperature and the bugs and that kind of deal. The tropical climate. The couple things that are different from here is it's really mountainous. You've got some mountains, which Florida obviously is really flat. But yeah, and of course the people and stuff like that. But I'm familiar with Florida. Hope all is well there in Daytona. Tagal, yeah. Good morning from Batangas. My own Buntag, Magandang Umaga. Yes, you guys speak Tagalog there. Good evening from DK. Yeah. Then, hey, Morton, how's it going? Yeah. Good evening. A lot of stuff going on with the with Royal. A lot of stuff with a lot of bikes, man. They had the what do you call the MCA, the big motorcycle event that just happened. So a lot of bikes were showcased. A lot of new bikes. Really exciting. Another bike that has my eye that I've been kind of really looking at is it did beforehand, but they kind of revamped it a little bit. Is the Honda NX500. Looks like another good kind of that small, lightweight adventure bike. Really excited about that market, and I just feel those are really good machines for the Philippines. Wake up, guys! It's time. I know, right? Sorry, guys. We had some technical difficulties. We had some bathroom schedule difficulties. We pushed through it though. We are here. We are live. Right, Joe? Yes, we are here. He's an IT guy, side acre. Make sure it's plugged in. Oh my gosh, I know. Yes. Yeah, it's some weird. So StreamYard actually came out. I think it was the live before last. I can't remember which, but they came out and said they've been having some microphone and some audio issues. So we just unfortunately we're behind schedule here, so I didn't allow myself a lot of time to get set up, and it took me a little bit to get things sorted up. But yeah, I know we're a little bit behind today. Yes, the best live yet, right? With no action at all. Oh, I hear you. Becoming Filipino, observing Filipino time now. I know. Sorry, guys. No sound. Yeah. All right, good. We'll skip through that. There you go. We're just kind of skipping through. All good. Okay, good. Yep. 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 I'll skip through it. Bill Smith. Bill Smith. I thought I knew you by chance. There's two of you. Yes. Off the Cuff Adventures. Good morning. Yeah. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah. Really. Thank you. It's so cool. So cool. As we've been things have been going well with the channel now. Really thanks to Paul and Mike for their kind of boost in new subscribers, which kind of kicks off the algorithm. You know, it's so interesting. It's also a little bit frustrating, right? As a creator, someone who's putting out content, it's nothing to do necessarily with the stuff that you're putting out there, but just if other people kind of pick you up and showcase you, then all that, it's just like making popcorn, right? And you could be doing absolutely no different other than someone else talking about you. So anyways, a little bit frustrating in that regard, but and things are kind of going up now again. We're after kind of a slow several months, but yeah, so it's kind of exciting and fun, but really excited about that. But thank you. I appreciate that. 8C here. 8C here. Good morning, Chris from Cebu City Center. All right, man. Yeah, we're neighbors. We should get together if you want. We're in town probably for the next couple months. There's still some figuring out, honestly, what's next. As I'm looking to do Dumageddon, and that's kind of where I was thinking. Made a lot of sense for a lot of reasons, but I'm having problems finding a place to live. Dumageddon is not like Cebu City. They're in a lot of ways, right? But in one of them is housing. It is a challenge to find housing in Dumageddon. So we were there for a week, and granted, we didn't spend the whole week looking for a place. We spent a couple of days. We had other things that we were up to there. But in those couple of days, I looked at I can't even remember 4 places. They were all more expensive than what I have here, and they offered less, right? So, I mean, here I've got a really nice place. I got a gym, I got a pool, I got all that, 20,000 pesos, right? 25 if you count parking, but really the base rent's 20. So there we looked at places. Now, granted, some of these were bigger, but they were all more expensive. And the one place that was kind of comparable in size, right? It was a 1-bedroom. But it was like 20. How much was that, Joe? I think it was like 23,000, and it reeked of urine. So I mean, that's kind of the quality of living arrangements that we were kind of seeing in our first kind of outing. And then I've gotten into some groups, some Facebook groups, some Dumageddon house rentals and stuff like that I'm kind of looking at, and there just really isn't there. So I'm really, the other factor with that is that there really isn't any Airbnbs to stay at. So housing in Dumageddon is a challenge, and so we'll see kind of how things play out, but a little bit concerned about the housing options that I've seen so far. Now, granted, this is limited time that I put in it, but here in Cebu City, it's so easy to find a place to live. I mean, you just look out your window, look for a high-rise building, walk into it and say, hey, are there any units for rent? You get like 5 numbers to call, and boom, you got a place. It's really kind of that simple almost, especially if you're looking at the business park or the IT park. Really, really so simple to find a place here. Dumageddon, not the case. I've met with realtors. I'm looking online, really just trying to find a place that, because really, I don't want to, the goal of leaving here, well, there's a lot of goals of leaving Cebu City, but one of them is to really just kind of, look at some different areas, but also save a little money. But so if I got to move to a place that has less amenities and it's kind of gross, it's a little bit challenging, right? Feel like I'm moving out of a nice area into not so nice. So I'm hoping that all works out. Yeah, good. Audio's good. I figured you were late because you were busy giving Joe it'll be after slipping into recent live. Oh, was she in Scotty Boy's live? I could see him saying, "Oh yeah, no, that's funny." So yeah, we saw Scott live because we're like, dude, what's Scott been up to? So Joe's like, oh, he's live now. So she hopped in and say, hey, but we were kind of laughing because I could see Scott's wheels kind of turning, and he's like, I think I know this person. So yeah, that was funny. was nice to see him, and it was only for whatever 30 minutes or so, but I'm glad he's doing good. I bet he's looking forward to get back here in the Philippines and out of there. So yeah, too funny. So does YouTube take 30% of the super? I believe they do. I believe they do. So I don't know. So one of the things I look to do, I set up memberships and I set them up for like 1 week. And then I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is ridiculous. Why would I set up a service that YouTube takes kind of a big cut of? It just seems ridiculous to me. So I don't know what to do. I thought about Patreon. I thought about doing that kind of stuff, and just and I also want to be careful with that. One of the things about the memberships that I kind of saw right away is it was isolating for people who were subscribers. I mean, I don't also want to create that. I don't want to. Yeah. So it's a weird dynamic with super stickers, with memberships, and all that stuff that I've spent a little bit of time kind of looking at, but not really. But I think you're right. They take a percentage. I don't know how much, but they definitely take a cut of that. Morning gymnastics now. Like, oh yeah, lift the thumb up. Yeah, I appreciate it. That thumbs up. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. You're great, Chris. Responsible creator. No, I appreciate that. I really do. Well, look, I think we all have to do us in life in general, but especially on YouTube. If you're going to put yourself in camera and hit record, it's really hard to put on something other than who you are over time, right? I think you could put on a show, you can put up this facade for a little while, but eventually that gets found out. I think you really have to, you got to be yourself and whatever that is, right? Jerry Springer stuff or whatever, and for me, what works is just kind of saying what's there and being this guy and that kind of deal. And that's kind of the purpose of this channel too, is to, just kind of go through life and document what's going on. If I'm being something that I'm not, it doesn't work well, but I really appreciate it. So it's not so much responsibility for me that's there. It's just really kind of showing everything that's there, and I also don't have a lot of like good, bad kind of, I try not to add a lot of morality into this. I kind of put it out there as it is. And because I don't have a lot of that internal conversation of that, morality and good, bad, right, wrong. I just kind of live and let everything. And that, honestly too, that's kind of why, I've hung out with David Bond a couple of times and chatted with him. I find a lot of stuff interesting, especially people who are, a little bit different than a lot of, I'm different than most people. Don't believe me? Ask Joe. Anyways, man, kind of ramble on a little bit there as I tend to do, but yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, my own Buntag, Chris and Joe. ¿Cómo está? What are the major things an expat has to take care of when moving to the Philippines? Well, Philip, I would say the number one thing is figure out your money transfer stuff. Figure out the money. Figure out how you're going to be here. Figure out how you're going to get your cash. Wise, Remitly, that kind of stuff. I personally use Remitly. I have a Wise account, but I've never really used it. Supposedly, the transfer rates are better with Wise, and a lot of experts suggest using Wise. Exactly the details of that, I'm not sure, but I would probably get Wise and that stuff nailed down. Get a couple ways to move your money around. That would be the top number one thing when moving to the Philippines, and then kind of to do your scouting trip, come out, see what it's like for yourself, understand what you're getting into, the temperature, the tropical environment, the bugs, the people, that would be the two big things that you want to do. And then other than that, just kind of reset, right? The third thing would be just to come out here and reset your life. Try to leave all this bad stuff behind you and reset and just be open to what's here, right? Just be open to the people, to the culture, to all of it. It's really spectacular if you let it kind of be here. And it's the reason I say that too is it's so incredible that I've been here 10, 11 months now, and I constantly meet guys who are fresh off the boat, right? Either they're on a scouting trip or they're just moving here. And it's so interesting to see my progression in that time with my attitude, my way of thinking and being, when you first get here, just walking around the city, it's such a kind of shock for you, and, in a good way. For me, it was anyways. So yeah, just kind of let yourself let yourself kind of soak into the Philippines. But yeah, the major things: get your finances in order. Make sure you know that, and then yeah, just allowing yourself to chill out here. What was the second thing I said? I can't remember. I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old. My mind moves too fast, and then I forget my train of thought. But too funny. Oh well, off the cuff. I think you're great. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, no worries. I was tracking you. I was tracking you. No problem, man. You're fine, brother. JC. So Chris, the more the channel grows, do you feel the pressure to put out more different, interesting content? Yeah, I mean a little bit. I feel. Yeah, there's a little bit of chasing the views. Honestly, I feel it's there. Um, yeah, I'd say a little bit. There's some of that's there for me for sure, and it's hard to let that go. I'll be honest, because I've got some stuff that I just like. Oh, that's garbage. I won't put it out now, and yeah, that's there a little bit. Hmm. That's a good point. Thanks for asking that question. Because I really do. I would just want to. There's a whole bunch of Behold stuff that I shot and I didn't even post. Yeah. Well, some of it too is just kind of going through my style and vlogging and getting better at being a storyteller, right? Getting better at that, and I'm starting to see where it's just like, yeah, that just doesn't fit, right? So I don't know if it's pressure to put out, but it's starting to see like, this is just a bad story, or this doesn't flow, or that kind of thing, right? So I'm getting more present to that also, as I'm doing this, for whatever 8, well, yeah, like about 8 months now is how long I've been vlogging. So yeah, not a ton of pressure, but more, yeah, just more inquiry of my work and what I'm doing and what I'm trying to create. It's shifting a little bit too as I go. Yeah, really, really great question. Appreciate that. Walter, how is crime and safety compared to Duma and Cebu? Maybe as an American, I think about that too much these days. Walter, you're right on, brother. I mean, in that's the situation where we come from, right? So yeah, no, I think you're right there. But yeah, I would look, the crime and safety in the Philippines is on a different level from what we're used to in the West. We were just talking about that with my buddies. We're sitting in a coffee shop, and none of us really worry about gun violence at all. When you're walking around, you're not, or when you're in a store or restaurant, it's just not even there here in the Philippines. Not even here. It just doesn't happen, right? I seeing a recent stat, there was over, I think this was from September, over 500 mass shootings in the United States as of September. And there's just that does not happen here. So look, there is violence, there is crime that happens here. It's just different. It's different. It's not violent crime. It's more petty crime, right? You're more likely to get your phone stolen, that kind of stuff, right? So there's crime here. It's not perfect, but it's different. It's not violent crime, and it's really interesting if you think about it, Walter. Why is that, right? And this is they can have guns here, So why is it that we have a society where we're shooting each other in the United States and it's not happening here? Really interesting. But yes, so crime here is not even on the same scale. I feel safe any time of day, any time of night in most areas. I've walked around all the time. Now, some of it is because I'm a bigger American. I'm, 5'10", 220 pounds. I have a bigger guy here. So some of it's that, I would suspect. But, but it is safe. And I would say to that, though, you always want to have your head on you no matter what. You don't want to walk around like you're untouchable. That's not the case either. But just being situationally aware, I think you'll be just fine pretty much anywhere in the Philippines. There's some areas of Mindanao, right? That eastern section. No, I'm sorry, that western section you're going to want to avoid. But other than that, you're good. And here in Cebu in particular, this whole island, the city, there's not a lot of problem areas. Now, so my buddy was just telling me, he says, Chris, I think it's the downtown area of Cebu City. After night, you probably want to be extra alert or just avoid that area. But other than that, there really isn't any kind of really bad areas like you would encounter in major cities. In Denver, where I live, Five Points district, you don't even want to be down there in the middle of the day, let alone at night, walking down the, the 16th Street Mall. Yeah. down Denver, especially after the pandemic. That, I mean, during the day, that's bad. You don't have that level. You don't here. It's really, really safe in comparison. Now, between Duma and Cebu City, I would say Dumaguete is going to be your safer option of the two, just based on sheer size. But here in Cebu City, safety really, to me, has never been a concern. Never. Yeah, great question, Walter. Hope that answered it for you. Why are you tripping? Is it possible to meet a non-Christian Filipina? I know religion is such a big thing there. Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I think you could meet. You can, and even if she was Christian, I think she would be open up to whatever religion you are. Even if it's you don't really have a practicing religion. That's kind of how I am, honestly, and I haven't felt the religion so far as an issue. It's not with Joe and I. Yeah, yeah, great question. Staycation Jim. Hey Chris, question about the motorcycle helmet. Is it a close? Is the closed face enough, or would an open face with shield be better? I know it can get hot there. I'm planning ahead. Yeah, great question. So I brought a closed face helmet, and I found it to be a little bit too hot. So I did buy an open face helmet with a shield. So exactly that. Um, yes. So I did get the exact helmet you're talking about. The other thing about that, Jim, is that the speeds here you're traveling at really slower speeds than you're used to in the West. I hardly get above 40 miles an hour. Hardly ever. Most everything that I ride, my speeds are between 20 and yeah, 20 and 40 miles an hour. So, that's the other thing when you're looking at a helmet, something that has, what do you call MIPS, I believe it is, something that's better for that lower impact type of accident. So I went exactly with what you're talking about. I actually have the Shoei here. Actually, I'll show you really quick. Yeah, this is the helmet I got. So nice 3/4 helmet, really good helmet. Some disadvantages around this particular helmet though is it's expensive. I think it was 35,000 pesos, and it's not a helmet you want to leave on your bike. So, yeah, but yeah, you get a nice 3/4 helmet, and there's a lot of options too. But you're I think you're right on what you're thinking. Good morning from Duma. Moving to Bohol in January. Nice, Jack. Yeah, I love Bohol. Yeah, great. We just spent some time out there. I might have some videos. I'm still kind of pouring through that footage of Bohol, but love Bohol. Really great. Off the cuff adventures. We pay 16,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house in Davao near downtown. It's temporary. Yeah, man. That was one of the really Jamie, the shocks I had about Dumaguete is how the housing, if anything, I might be paying more than I'm paying here in Cebu City. I was really hoping to go there and save a couple bucks in my rent, so that way I can really travel around a little better. But every place I've looked at has been more than I'm paying here. Now, granted, it's also been a bigger property, right? But like I said, I was at least hoping to get in a 1-bedroom or maybe 2-bedroom for kind of what I'm paying here, and it's just not the case in Dumaguete that I've seen in my initial look, right? I'm by far no expert. Happy, joyous, and free from we're at Tarlac Farmland. Oh, cool. We have everything we need. Bought land and built 2-story home, 3-bedroom. Wow, that is so cool. Good for you guys. Yeah, so cool. Off the cuff adventures. Yes, seen Chris. Won't get up. Yeah, I won't get a portion. A lot of views. Yeah. Views for history. Yeah, no problem. No, thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, Google they get a portion of that. I can't remember how much it is. I think it's, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is, honestly. Joan Fritz. Hello, Chris from Taiwan. Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, thanks for being here. Appreciate that. You're doing great. Good mentoring me. Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, thank you. No, I really do. Thank you so much. Staycation Jim, a question for you and Joe. Does any man wear a gold necklace, or could it be stolen off the neck? Will they think I'm rich? Yeah, I think with some stuff, Jim, you want to be careful being super flashy. We know a guy here in in Ayala area here. We call him White Mr. T because he's got all these big necklaces on. He's actually really funny. He's a great guy too. You see him, say hi. He's really friendly. But he does have these big necklaces on. But he's also like 6'2" and 220 pounds. But yeah, I would say in general you want to be careful with super flashy stuff. I mean, if you have a simple chain that you wear, whatever, cross whatever, I would say you'd be fine with that. I would keep just flashy in general. It's not a big flashy society like the West, which thank goodness, right? It's really not that, and so flashy in general can be is kind of a turn off for this culture here, which again, thank goodness, right? So, but yeah, I think something mild, something simple would be good. Kevin, hello again from Four Corners. Yeah, beautiful. Love Four Corners area. I've lived in Colorado for many years, worked in Santa Fe for a little while. So yeah, I'm definitely familiar with that area. Did you ever look at the local motorcycle brand Skygo? I want to get the Boss 150 only. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think, Kevin, I think I have seen them around. They're a popular brand. I've seen them. Yeah, looks like a great little bike. Yeah, great little machine. Yeah, I'm really interested in two machines for 2024 that are coming out. The Himalayan 450. Man, that I've seen. Yami Noob did a review on it though recently that looks kind of a little bit concerning. And then also the NX 500. And the reason why I'm kind of looking at these bikes over my Himalayan 350 that I'm current riding, Himalayan 350 is a beautiful machine. Love it. Great machine. However, the suspension is a little bit stiff, and the roads here, while I don't really feel like I need an off-road, I don't need a dirt bike to ride the Philippines roads. They're mostly paved, but you can hit potholes and bumps and stuff like that. So something with a little bit softer suspension is kind of what I'm really wanting and liking. It's something a little more comfortable, something also too with luggage. And then, yeah, and then also too, the thing I like about an ADV bike, it allows me to stand up, right, while riding. And that is so key, especially if you're talking about doing, 3 and 4 hour rides. A bike where you can change your position for those longer rides is really key, for like all day in the saddle kind of stuff. JC, so Cole's notes. Yeah, Cole's notes for Remitly, the U.S. bank account. Use Remitly to send cash to the Philippines account. Look into more detail. But what's your take? Yeah, so what I do is, yes, I link my U.S. account to Remitly, and I use Remitly to send cash to myself. And then I just go to the bank here and then pick that cash up. That's the way I like to do it. And that's kept me away from using ATMs. However, and this is a good example of kind of things you guys want to watch out for. I did that. We were in between trips. Like I just got back from Dumaguete and we're heading to Bohol. And I sent myself cash and I went to go pick it up and the dang banks were closed. So you always want to have another option. So what I had to do is I had to go to an ATM and draw out 10,000 pesos and then go back the next day and draw out another 10,000. So you always want to have a couple ways to do it. But yes, JC, that's exactly how I do it. I just use Remitly to send myself cash. And I recently attached my debit card to it. So it's instant. I can send myself cash 5 minutes later, go pick it up. Now, the other part of that too, though, is it takes an hour to pick up that cash. You got to go in the bank, and some of that depends on the bank, but it takes time to get to the teller. And then when you get to the teller, there's, quite a bit of paperwork that you have to fill out regarding that cash, just your name, address, the remittance number, why you're sending yourself cash. I just write bills, that kind of deal. I've never had any problem, but it does take some time to to do that process. But for me, doing it once every couple months is better than hitting an ATM once a week. And then, subjecting yourself to possible fraud with ATMs and skimmers and that kind of deal, right? Travel with Xavier or Chris, maybe put Davos City on your radar. It's a great city. And then Mindanao has a lot of other offers to Dumaguete. Does. Yes, no, I do. Xavier, Davos City is very much on my list. And my plan around that was to do Negros first, to do a lot of Negros riding, ride all throughout Negros, go up to Bacola, go to Iloilo, do that, like kind of maybe the first 3 months of the year, and then actually possibly head over to Mindanao head over to Mindanao, take from Dumaguete, take that ferry over. I can't remember what city it does get you, but it gets you in northern Mindanao, and then ride down, get over to CDO, again, possibly stay in Davao for the kind of ladder of 2024, as they don't get, the typhoons like we do. So being in that area for the latter part of 2024 was exactly my plan. So I'm there. 2024 looks like that'll be the year for a lot of that. Just like I said too, just fine tuning my motorcycle to be able to do a lot of that's kind of been a little bit of the drawback, because it's just not a bike we can do two up on. It's just not. Yeah, looking forward to hang out in Mindanao. Yeah, man. Yeah, me too, Jamie. Absolutely. Need to bring pants. All right. Yeah, I got a pair of pants that I wear a lot when I ride. Yeah. Hey, Gary. Yeah, good morning, Chris and Joe. Are you getting excited about the less? I am getting excited about the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Yeah, I think that it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to watch that. Thanks again for having us over and watching that. It's such a great time. Such a good time. Yeah, it's very cool and comfy in the mountains. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really excited about Mindanao, and especially that couple routes to me that look really spectacular. One is the route from Davao City up to CDO, like through the mountains, and then also to Davao City up to like Siargao on that eastern coast. So really excited about the riding there in Mindanao. Looks incredible. Telling about managing your cash. Wells Fargo is a remittance partner with PNB, aka Philippines National Bank. Okay, cool. They make it easy to send cash to China and the Philippines, Vietnam. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I use with that Remitly app, and then I just pick it up at the BDO bank here. It works really, and I have a U.S. bank account at home, and I just take seconds. It's so quick to do the transfer. I'm picking it up's another thing, but yeah. I guess your content is changing just by adding +1. Yes. I'd imagine everyone gets through a few changes in content. It is quite a bit. You're right. It's changed quite a bit in that regard. Just kind of thinking through it a little. It has, but it hasn't. I mean, if anything, what I like about it too is in the video, I think it makes it a little more interesting too to have someone to kind of talk about. Like the last dating video that we did, I was really surprised by a lot of Joe's answers. So we don't really script out or rehearse a lot of it. I've got some bullet points and things like that I kind of want to bring up, but it's not scripted, obviously. So excuse me. But not another person in there really adds to that dynamic and adds to that, but it also changes it a little bit too. And yeah, for sure. It is a evolution of the channel. Yeah, definitely. Do you have any hoodies for 2? You'll need them. All right. That's interesting. It gets that cold there. It gets a little cool here, especially in the mountains. When we're riding over Trans Central, it gets pretty cool there. Talking motorcycles, I'm back to it after 16-year absence. Yeah, I hear you. About last week, my Honda Rebel, DCT. I was always a cruiser guy. So now I have my Ferrari and a go-kart track. You do. Dude, are you out here with that bike? Oh, what a great machine though, right? I had another buddy of mine who was looking at that exact machine. Shout out to you, Eric. But yeah, he was looking for the Honda Rebel DCT. Yeah, it looks like a fun machine. Talk about a head turner out here. That is kind of one of the fun things about having even my bike, little 350 Royal Enfield. It's not a scooter, so you ride through some of these areas and people are like, "Oh, cool." I bet you that bike too, especially if you change the pipes on that, get a little Two Brothers going on the back of that. That'll be fun. Yeah, good for you, man. Welcome back to riding. Take it easy. Watch for the dogs. Watch for the things coming out in the street. And honestly, too, I feel that's one of the advantages of a full-size motorcycle is, you really kind of have the ability to, a dog pulls out in front of you. It's on a scooter that's you could be coming off the bike. On a motorcycle, not necessarily, and I'm not trying to be gross or anything like that, but you have the ability to go over bigger obstacles with a larger front tire than you do on a scooter. So anyways, yeah. Morning from Car. Yes, how's it going? What's up in Car? Yeah, cool. Look, great little area. I was thinking of Donald, but yeah, Car, all right, down south. Been through your city lots of times, especially recently. Let's see. Just Googled, and there was a crime incident increase in Cebu City due to high influx of people during Sinulog festivals and activity. Theft, I'd imagine. Yeah, no, I think you're right. And Sinulog is really that kind of petty crime thing that we're talking about is really an opportunity for that because you've got the city practically doubles in size during Sinulog. And so we'll back up for a second. Sinulog is I think it's the third Sunday in January, and it's a celebration of baby Jesus. Massive event here in Cebu City. I mean, massive. People travel all over the world. Millions of people come here. I was here for the one last year, and I had just moved here like a month ago. So I really wasn't. I was still. My head was. I was in a whirlwind, right? And I was just blown away by it. It's actually where Joe and I first met in person. Was that event? She came out. We weren't dating then or anything like that, but we had met then. But yes, so that is a really an opportune time for thieves for pickpocketers and things like that. 'Cause you got all these people here in the town and a lot of foreigners. So yeah, absolutely, petty crime stuff. Not a lot of violent crime stuff at all. And in a lot of the crime too, the violent crime that does occur isn't necessarily Filipino on foreigner. It's Filipino and Filipino, right? So yeah, just wanted to point that out too. I go to work and go to home just to avoid any issues. Groundhog Day for me until the magic day of retirement, February 27th. Yeah. Then on my way a week later. Oh, good for you, man. I hope you've done your scouting trip. Yeah, where are you going, man? Yeah, congratulations. It's really, this is what I love about it right here because I meet guys like this all the time. I mean, it's just so cool. I love it. And then you see them out here, they're so excited. I met a gentleman the other day. Shout out to you, Jim. He was so excited. He was having a hard time sleeping. He's like, Chris, I want to meet this girl. I'm getting introduced to this girl. You know, you're talking about a guy who hasn't dated in decades, you know, or close to it. You know, he's taking care of his father and that. And we all have that, right? We all have that similar deal where maybe we haven't dated. For me, I hadn't dated in years, you know. So, you know, when they get here, they get right off the plane. They're so excited. It's really, really cool. And cheers to you and anyone else who's in that same boat because I get it, man. I get it. It's really great. Finally back home in the Philippines. Been tearing around on my bike. Oh, nice, man. Yeah. What are you riding? What's your bike? Yeah, that's so cool. And the off-road stuff too, I think is pretty big. I'm excited about getting a little more capable off-road machine. I don't really envision doing, you know, heavy single track or stuff like that, but getting out on some roads. We were when we were traveling, I say we, Scott, Joe, and myself, when we were in Mobile and we're traveling over to Aslab, going to Osmeña Peak, we hit this road that, I mean, the rental car that those guys were in wouldn't even make it up. And I was on my bike. I was kind of like, if I had a little more off-road machine, like an adventure bike or even Honda ADV 160, I think I would have tried going up that because there are some stuff here, some roads that you'll encounter that aren't quite paved. So Giovanni, a good evening from Florida. Speaking of Giovanni, hats off to Gio, right? Getting married, Gian and Amaya. Wish them the best. Anyways, good evening from Florida. I had a spinal surgery, L3, L4 yesterday. Oh, brother, hope you're good. Getting everything done before moving to the Philippines. VA pays for it. Yeah, well, and thanks for your service, man. Appreciate that. It's the other thing I meet. I meet a lot of guys who have served our country. So thanks for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, that sounds great. I hope you're recovering well and hope you're probably chilling out in bed. Get some rest, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah. How it feels. Yeah. We'll be there a few weeks for the 30-day scouting mission. Okay, cool. Traveling Texan. Nice, man. Can't wait. Rented a bike to explore Cebu and Bohol. Nice, dude. So, you know, if scouting trip, okay, careful riding in the city. It's not what you're used to. Yeah, just be really careful on that. It's doable. It's just, you know, the first couple of weeks I would just walk around. I wouldn't try to ride around Cebu City. Once you get out of the city, it's a little different. But riding on a scooter, I don't really ride much in the city. I cab and grab and walk when I'm here in Cebu City. But once you get out of the city, it's nice. If you want to ride around the Cebu area, I would southern Cebu is a little bit more mountainous and really beautiful. I'm excited to do a little bit more, but northern Cebu is fine. You got Bantayan Island and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, good for you, dude. Yeah, what I would do to also is if you're looking to come to Cebu City, spend as much time as you can here in the city. And like I said, ask yourself that question every day: could I live here, right? And then but and then look at it visually, right? It's not really that bad, depending on where you're at, especially if you're in IT park in the business park. Get out of those bubbles a little bit, just so you can kind of see a little bit of that. But really ask yourself your question. There was something else I was going to say to that. I can't remember what. Oh yeah, look at your surroundings, but also really pay attention to your interactions with people. You're going to be blown away, man. You're going to be blown away. Just the way the Filipinos are, especially from where we're coming from. Pay attention to those interactions with people and be like, is this an environment that I can be in? Are these interactions that I want to surround myself in? That kind of stuff. Yeah, really cool. Good for you, man. Good for you. Careful on the riding around though, in the city. Do you wish you bought a bigger bike? I'm looking for the Yamaha X-Max. No, I really. The only regret I have, there's a couple of regrets I have about the Hunter 350. One is the luggage. We really don't have luggage options. So that's the challenge, is we're traveling around on the bike. And the panniers, I just haven't found a good luggage system for that. So that's one regret. The other thing that I wish it was a little bit softer suspension that made it easy to ride longer trips. So that's kind of why I'm looking at the NX 500 that just came out, or the Himalayan 450. Just so that way I've got luggage, I've got more of an adventure bike for more off-road kind of stuff. I've got better suspension that's more comfortable, kind of all day in a saddle type travel. As far as scooters, I think you're right on with the X-Max. I think an X-Max would be a phenomenal machine for the Philippines, as well as the Honda ADV 160. I think both of those bikes are phenomenal. For me, I didn't feel comfortable on a scooter. I'm used to a clutch and a rear brake at my foot. And scooters, you got the rear brake and the front brake. So I would have adapted and adjusted. But I didn't, after riding, I had a Honda Click 125, and I'm not a big dude, but I didn't feel comfortable on that bike. I felt like I was on a little freaking tricycle. In the riding I did in the United States, I had a 790 Duke, and I had a Tanner 700. So I'm used to bigger, full-size motorcycles, and I just didn't feel comfortable on a scooter. If you're okay with scooters and you're comfortable with that, Yamaha X-Max, fine machine, as well as Honda ADV 160. Honestly, I feel if you're okay with a scooter, I feel the Honda ADV 160 and I think it's the NMAX or X-Max. But anyways, the ADV 160 is probably the best machine for the Philippines. And I say that because you've got built-in storage in your seat. You can get a top box. You can have all this storage capacity, and you've got a little bit of suspension and travel for when you hit bumps on the road and some dirt road and stuff like that. Really a great machine. I just wasn't comfortable on a scooter. There's the only reason why. But if you don't have that hang up, boom, or if you're looking for an automatic, Honda ADV 160 all day long. I want to get a Harley Davidson to ship to the Philippines. I don't think they like that. Giovanni, there's a couple guys that I've talked to about. So there is a Harley dealership right here in Cebu City. So if you're really a Harley guy, you could go out. There's a chapter out here. It's pretty active. I've seen a group on the road one time. It's just, dude, they're big bikes. They're big bikes. And it doesn't really, so lane filtering here is very common. You go anywhere and everywhere. On a motorcycle here. So a big Harley, you can't necessarily do that. So you're sitting in the traffic, and it's hot, right? So especially on a bike with a helmet and gear. So I just don't think they're not really a good machine for the Philippines. But you can get one, and I would say this, right? If you've got a big budget, you're not worried about cash, you're just like, I'm going to get a Harley. I want to ride it once a week with your group out here. Yeah, brother, go for it, man. I would say right on, right? If you're a little more budget and you're going to have maybe one or maybe two bikes, then I think there are better options. But if you're going to have multiple bikes out here and you got a big budget, yeah, get yourself a Harley, get yourself an ADV 160. I'd say those two bikes, and you'd be great. Yeah. JD Travels. I'm bringing my half helmet with me. I'm less worried. Yeah. That's so the other thing too. I showed you my helmet. I kind of wish I didn't buy it, simply because it's a bike. It's a helmet I'll never leave on my bike. You know, I've got the Pack Talk on there. You know, the comm system. I've got that. I mean, if I left on the bike, it's gone. You know, so I almost wish I bought a helmet that I'm not as worried about leaving on the bike. So, but yeah, yeah, there's helmet off. There's and you can get helmets here. It's hard to find. It's hard to find Shoei or Arai because not it's hard to find really that brand or Arai like a really high quality helmets because they're so expensive and no one's gonna really spend that kind of money here. That's the other factor you want to think about with motorcycles. You can sell a Honda ADV 160 all day long. Try to sell a Harley Davidson that's worth a couple million pesos. That ain't gonna happen, right? That ain't gonna happen unless it'd be harder. It's a lot harder. Yeah, gamer. Mm, yes, my own dog brother. Maga nanu maga. Hope you're good, man. Look at that. He gets up from the table and he does have pants on. You know what, brother? I didn't have pants on. I was brushing my teeth. We were just like I said, we were running behind this morning. I didn't have pants on. And Joe, as I'm brushing my teeth, she's pulling my pants up. Because when you said that too, I actually had to look down for a second to make sure that I had them on. Oh, too funny. Old dog. It's fun getting old, right? You gotta laugh at yourself. You gotta laugh at yourself and have fun. Giovanni, old dog Paul got the inch to leave the Philippines. Maybe in his last videos, you see, I did see that he was doing some research about places to go and things like that. I actually commented on his video, right? And look, there's a lot of talk about and even in my video, I think a couple people talked about places to retire. And I think now that he's married, he's in a relationship. There probably are. There's a lot of guys who come to the Philippines, marry a Filipina, and move to Thailand. So that's not, you wouldn't be the first guy to do that, right? There are a lot of guys do that. So it's just, people come to the Philippines, I feel, for those relationship factors because you can find a good spouse, find a good partner, and then maybe look for countries with a little bit better infrastructure, a little bit better, cheaper costs of living. So that's been happening for a long time. And, it's hard to say if Paul, what his intentions are, what he's I mean, if you've been watching his channel, he's been kind of toying with that idea probably for a while. Was up in Iloilo doing some stuff, but Dumaguete is a small town vibe too, and he really likes that. Dumaguete for me, as far as living long term, I couldn't do it. It is too small town for me. There's just not really a lot going on, and if you like that kind of vibe, it's a good space for that, right? I did a video on Cebu City versus Dumaguete. But yeah, I'm not sure what he's up to. He didn't, in my interactions with him when I talked to him a little bit, he seemed, pretty happy with there. But, as you watch his channel and content, you can see that, he's possibly looking at other places to be. I mean, he's been in that town for a while and, maybe feel like it's time to kind of try something else. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the future plays out for Paul and May. Great guys, by the way, both of them. Really, really cool to meet them both and hang out. May is just as quiet as you think she is. She probably said 3 words, but really sweet though. Big smile. Yeah, really cool. Such an honor to kind of meet both of them. I think they got a meet and greet going on either today or tomorrow down there. I saw a Paul short came up for him talking about that. A funny story about that really quick. So he doesn't put in the year. So there's a short that came up that he did too about a meet and greet. And I was like, I got all excited. I was like, I'm going to go down to Dumaguete. I'm going to meet these guys. Then I look at the comments, and it was from like 2 years ago. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Getting old, right? All right. Lex 500. Does the Philippines allow headlight emulators on a bike, strobe headlights like in the U.S.? I think they might. They don't have a lot of regulations on that kind of stuff like in the West, too. Like, I've seen guys with like full-on Christmas lights, driving down the street. So they don't have, or people with no helmets, right? And that kind of deal. So they're not as strict as like the United States in that regard. you know, and also too, that really also depends on where, right? So Cebu City is pretty strict on stuff. But I've been in places where, people are wearing no helmets and flip flops and that kind of deal. So it really does depend on where you're at as far as how strict the agencies are. Yeah. Bookum Dano. Oh, so wild. So cool. I didn't read that before. Enjoy your life, Chris. Great live stream. Life is short. You know it, man. You know it. Bookum Dano. Where's that from? Bookum Dano. That's great. That's from an old movie or an old TV series, right? Is that Kojak? As far as I know, headlight emulators are not allowed. Okay. Or not disallowed. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Tube noob. Oh man. All this talk about heights and weights. I'm 6'1", 220 pounds, but I have a really skinny body. Either I have or it's really hard for me to find shorts that fit. Yeah. You good point about the clothes. Although there is a shop. So I just got this shirt at Uniqlo. Joe was saying, dude, you wear the same 4 shirts. You got a red one, you got a white one, and a blue one, and a black one. So I actually recently bought some shirts at a store called Uniqlo, and I like to buy stuff that's heat, designed for hot weather. So this is really kind of good moisture wicking stuff. So there are options here, but not a lot. Highly recommend Uniqlo. I think they're a Japanese. Yeah, I think it's a Japanese Japanese store. They're in Iowa Mall. You'll see them around. It's whatever UNI, but they have some hot weather gear. But yeah. But other than that, like shoes and stuff, what I would recommend on that is see if you can buy all that stuff on Amazon before you come out here, because Amazon's really great in the United States where you can just return it. You have that. I think they have that try before you buy thing. They had that before I left. But that's what I would do too is use Amazon for like your shoes, especially your shoes, like running shoes or whatever. And then what you could do is buy them there in the States, make sure that they're good and they work. And then whatever, a year, 2 years down the road, just buy the same damn shoe again and then have it shipped to you here. And that would be kind of how I would work that kind of stuff. The stuff that's really hard to find here, especially good quality stuff. I mean, back to the helmet, right? No one's going to spend that kind of money on good quality stuff, and we kind of like that good quality product. So that's kind of how I would work some of that stuff. Shoes in particular would be one of those. I've got a really good pair of Asics running shoes that I have. No way I would find them here. They're 125 US. Nowhere. They're not going to be here. No person, no Filipino is going to spend that kind of money on a pair of shoes, right? ADV 750 is a great bike. Yeah, I've seen that around. Yeah, I think, well, another one that's out there too is you got the ADV, was it 350 or 300? I think that would be another good bike. I'm not a scooter guy. I'm really more of a motorcycle, like with a clutch and the rear brake. But yeah, no, some really good offerings by Honda. Really, they're incredible manufacturer, right? Riddle, what do you call a Filipino yoga instructor? A falter. Oh, I love it, dude. Yeah, I love dad jokes. I love that. I got to remember that. What do you call a Filipino yoga instructor? A Manila folder. I love that. Oh, it's great, man. I love riding, but I'm worried about idiot drivers. You have to be, JD. I mean, look, I went through a back of a car not even 2 years ago. Spent 3 years in a wheelchair and then 4 months walking again. I wasn't, I knew how to walk. It's not as dramatic as relearning, but as a 50-year-old guy and sitting in a wheelchair and then trying to walk again, it took me like 4 months to get back to it. But so I get it, right? I get it. And thankfully in this particular country, it's more, there are more motorcyclists. There's more 2-wheel vehicles than 4. So I feel like it's better in that regard as vehicles are more aware that that there's a motorcycle around. Now, there's also a lot of just people. I don't know if you watched the Dumageddon video that I did. You got people entering the intersection. They're not even looking. They're just coming right into the intersection. There's a lot of that. But yeah, so it's just different. But thankfully, the speeds are so much slower. You're not blaring 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. you're fat. You're lucky to get going 40. So speeds are a lot slower. Chris, with China Bank's ATMs, can you withdraw? You can withdraw 20,000 pesos. Okay, yeah. And there's some of them too. I can't remember. There was one of them I thought you can get like 35,000. But yeah, I'll be honest. I like going to the Remitly. I think it cost me $5 to do it, and I can send myself 100,000, and then I'm done, right? And I don't even have to worry about it for a while. It makes it easy for me. You have a bank account there. Get the money from Remitly. You can't get money from Remitly anywhere. I don't have a bank account yet, Jim. I tried one time and I had some challenges getting my banking account. I went to BPI. They didn't like my ACR card. I had a tourist ACR card, which is what we have as a tourist. So I haven't given up yet, but I have had challenge. I just went to one place, so I didn't really give it, what do you call it, a college try, right? I didn't really try fully to get it accomplished. I know we can. I know a lot of guys who have bank accounts. That's the other part for me. I just haven't had the need for one, but I can see where having one, especially as I'm traveling around in different places, would be nice. I was in Vegas last month. Tons of viewing area construction. Oh yeah, for the F1 event. So I was in Vegas, back when I was working for the law firm there. We had an office in Vegas that I did, and they were doing stuff back then. And that was 2 years ago. They were building that, whatever that Darth Vader dome looking deal. It looked pretty cool. Yeah, lots going on for that Formula One event. I'm excited about that. I'm a huge fan of Formula One. Really spectacular. Staycation Jim, seeking banana chips made in the Philippines. Night and local. Okay, banana chips made in the Philippines. I haven't tried those yet. Joe is a nice addition to your channel. She is. She's a nice addition to my life. Oh, although she's a little mad at me right now, but yes, Joe's great. Joe, want to come by, Joe? She's chilling. Crime talk. Cebu was considered as a training ground for pickpocketers. Yep. Not sure if it's still the case. There's definitely crime here. There is, but it's the petty crime stuff. You got to watch for the begging kids and that kind of thing. I think it might be illegal to give them money. So a lot of times you just got to be careful. You got to have your head on you. But it's not a violent crime place like in the West, right? You don't have to go into a store and look for the exits because you're afraid you're going to get shot. You don't have to go in a movie theater and worry about that kind of thing. Here's the really interesting thing that we were talking about, right? Schools. My daughter, this is whatever, I can't even remember how many years ago. She was in middle school, and we a brand new built school. I go in to take a tour of the school. It's like a prison. They got metal detector. When you go in, you got like 2 different metal detectors, and you got the double door, right? You go in, and then they have the lock space, and then they open the door to get in, and that's just to get into the school. And then they got all the corridors have these big sliding doors, these heavy steel doors. I mean, it's ridiculous. Here, none of that. No metal detectors, wide open. People just go in. Such an interesting. When you look at that, you really start to get how things are in the U.S. and it's just absolutely, it's so different. Yeah, get the thumbs up. Yes, can I give myself a thumbs up? I don't have a thumbs up here on StreamYard, unfortunately, but yes, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I have a 2020 Yamaha MT-15. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what that bike is. Let me look that up real quick. MT-15. I was looking at flights to go to Bacolod. So yeah, we got that big storm coming out, guys. MT-15. Okay. Yeah. I see that bike. Yeah, it looks nice. MT-15. Okay. Yeah, commuter bike, 155cc. All right, cool. That's a bike I haven't seen in the United States. Yeah. Check out Sugar Beach, Negros on your motorcycle ride. All right. I will definitely check that out. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, any suggestions for Negros? I definitely would love it, as that's going to be, my early part of the next year. So really excited about riding Negros. I've been living in Colombia. I just bought my ticket to Manila for March 6th, running a marathon in Baguio. Oh, good for you, brother. I haven't been in a relationship for 3 years, so looking forward to getting there. Yeah, just realize Manila is a little bit different. It's, a little bit westernized. I think you'll still be fine there. You're obviously in good shape and that kind of deal. Baguio is different, elevation and that kind of deal. So yeah, wish you good luck, man. I hope all is going well in Colombia. Colombia was high on my list too. I looked at Bogota. I looked at Medellin. Those are places that I wanted to visit and possibly retire in. I just wasn't as fluent in Spanish. Was one of the main factors that I didn't end up there. But especially Medellin looks absolutely beautiful. Yes, Giovanni. There you go. Have a nice day. I've scouted the Philippines over 25 times. All right, cool. Worked in Korea for 6 years. Yeah, nice. I worked with 6 Philippine engineers. My company has over 3,000 employees in Manila. Yeah, I'll start my arrival in Manila. All right, man. Yeah, you know where you're going. Good for you, man. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, in Manila. So I met another gentleman recently who, after meeting him, Joe and were like, yeah, that's a guy that would be good in Manila. So if you're really used to those Western amenities and that kind of deal, BGC just looks great, right? In that regard, for me, I wanted to get away from a little bit of that. And while I still like the city, I was definitely interested in the Philippines culture and the kind of the not really province living, but the innocence of that. And I felt like Manila doesn't necessarily have that. And you can find it in Cebu, and especially as you get out. But that's really what I was looking for. JC, there was an imposter on Mark's live going by Carefree Chris. He was trolling until he got to boot. I saw that. I didn't see it on Mike's live. I saw it on Every Man Has a Story. I think I popped on that for a second and I was like, look, Joe, there's a guy, Carefree Chris. And Joe just got one too. Sorry, Joe just got one too where there's some fake dating profile that was out there that somebody sent her. So we're getting imposters. That's when you know you've made it, right? Just laughing. Yeah, it's actually kind of fun in that regard. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, all right. Another good milestone moment for me was recently Jonathan from Travel Escapes commented on my channel, and I was like, oh, sweet. And then I looked at, he did a video that Joe and I did, where the girlfriend makes the soup, him and the girlfriend. I was like, oh man, that's when you know you made it, was when, some of the people that you've watched are doing your content, or you've got imposters and stuff like that. So, oh, that's so funny. JD Travels. I'm spending 6 months in Cebu with a short multi-day trips. After that, I want to spend a few months in Chongqing. Once again, I'll do multi-day trips in Thailand. Yeah. Nice, man. 6 months in Cebu. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Cebu's great. And so that was one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about in my recent Bohol trip, in a video around that, is talk about how really Bohol is that great kind of first destination as you get here in Cebu City. And we're going to probably do a video on that really as we kind of wrap up our time here and just kind of make some playlists around Cebu City, restaurants and all that stuff. But really Bohol is that great next step. It's easy to get to. You can take a cab down to the Pier 1. You can hop on an ocean jet. You can be there in an hour and a half. You have transportation there when you get to the ferry and what's at Tagbilaran City that can take you out to Alona Beach, to your resort. Once you get to the resort, you got all these tours that you can do. So really for that Westerner really experiencing the Philippines for the first time, Bohol is that easy next step, right? So we'll be doing, I think we're going to shoot a video exactly on that, just because I do feel it's easy for guys to do. Like, we took our buddy out there, he's a retired firefighter. He was like, and I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He's here for 3 weeks. He's, no, I'm just checking out the city. He was like, well, let's go out to Bohol. Let's go check it out. And it kind of gave me that whole idea as far as what can guys do that when they're here. So yeah, really cool, man. Good for you. Traveling Texan. Yeah, Chris, going south for a few days in Cebu City. Won't rent a bike until I leave the city. I was in the Philippines long ago in the Air Force, Clark. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, good for you. Sorry, it looks like I'm a little bit behind in the comments, but that's for folks that are new to lives. I really try to kind of deep dive into stuff, that we can't really do in a comment section. So I get a little bit behind in comments, but I try to get through them. We're in an hour, and I usually go around 2 hours. So So yeah, a little bit behind, but yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, no worries. Won't rent a bike until, yeah. Okay. Going south in Cebu. Yeah, so you can get, if you want to ride down, you could ride down to right over to what I would do. So go, as you're heading south, Cebu to Car is traffic and you know whatever. It'll still be fun because you're in the Philippines riding around, but you know it's kind of congested and that kind of deal. But once you get out of Car, it's nice. And then from Car, you could head over to, you can keep going south, or you can head over to Moabol, and then another beautiful area. So once you get out of Car, either going south or going to the other coast, it's beautiful. And really, if you're on a nice bike where you're comfortable, you could get out of Car and ride all the way around, you know, the southern part up to back up to Moabol. I don't know how many hours that was, but you could look at that, right? That'd be a beautiful ride from Car, either Car over. I've done that a lot, or Car south down. You know, that also is really nice. The really cool roads too are those east to west routes in southern Cebu. Now be careful, as we encountered, they're not paved, you know, but those really east to west route, especially if you go to Osmeña Peak, just really beautiful mountain roads, and yeah, really cool. Good for you, man. Good for you. It sounds like a good time. Storage on a scooter. I thought that's what your Filipino was. It's crazy what you see out and about. Yeah, man. Well, you know, so you've got what, 20 plus liters, I think, in the ADV 160 right under your seat. You can fit maybe two full size helmets. That's a lot. That's big. That's really advantageous to have that kind of storage right underneath you. Massive. And then you can get a big top box. It's really convenient, especially if you're talking about transportation that you're going to use to get around on a day to day basis. Having that built in, it's makes sense. But yeah, it's amazing what you see on these scooters. You see whole families. You know, you got the kid in the front, you got the middle child, then you got the mom, and you know, we've seen like four or five on scooter, or just carrying like rebar and stuff. And yeah, really wild. Bags of rice. Yeah, it's. I love it. I love it. I love it. Honda has an ADV 350 now. Yes, and it's a venture scooter, so it has light off-road capabilities. Yep, throw some panniers in a top case. Yeah, man, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It's a great bike. Great bike. Yep. Island Cowboy. Have you seen Honda ADV Goldwing? No, or Golding. Yeah, I will. I've seen some big ADVs here. Like we were just talking about the 350 and the, was it the 790 or 7 something? I've seen both of those. Big, you know, they look good. They look nice. The Harley Deep, the Pan America is perfect. Yeah, it's okay. It's a big bike, more bigger than what I would like. Yeah, I mean that, I think that 500cc range is great. The new NX 500, I think also the Himalayan 450. I think it's light and nimble enough where you're good in traffic, but then also, you know, yeah, that would be a good bike. You know, like it's saying a lot. You know, anything over 40 miles an hour, you just don't really do. Now, maybe in Manila area, you know, you do have what is a 500cc that you have to ride on the interstates in Manila. So you would do that. But if you're not going to ride in Manila area, which I wouldn't necessarily do, like in Cebu, right? I don't really enjoy riding in the city so much. You know, it's kind of a waste. But yeah, I like the mid range. The mid range spikes to me are really ideal for here. Mike's Philippines retirement. Who's this guy? Who let him in? Man, this guy shows up anywhere. What's up, Mike and Janet? Hope you guys are good there. Yes. Good morning. Hey, I don't know if you guys are still coming up, but there's a little bit of storm heading our way. Hope you guys are good there. Be safe. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are traveling out, but definitely take care. Cheaper to buy a Harley in the Philippines. Shipping costs and taxes. Ship your own bike is very expensive. Probably over 10. Yeah, it's expensive, but also too, they're taxed up here. You've got a pretty high tax rate. To buy a bike in the Cebu dealership is going to be more expensive than when you'd pay in the States. And it also too, your selection is going to be a little bit limited. I would, if you're really interested in getting a Harley, I would reach out to the Harley dealership out here and find out what they have, what they can get for you, and that kind of deal before, and then make a decision on your bike that you're shipping out. You know, something super custom that you have in the States might be hard to get out here. So I know when I went to the dealership, their inventory was kind of limited. They maybe had 4 or 5 bikes. They didn't have a lot like I would see in Colorado. For as much influence Paul has, the Philippines could pay him all the money he generates. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody was telling me Selenia should be paying you or Ayala. Have you gotten a price on? No, I don't know how much that bike is going to be yet. It'll be interesting to see. I'll tell you, Morton, the other bike that really has my interest is that NX 500. I think that's going to be a great, and it's Honda, so it's so reliable. Those 2 bikes, I have to, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I have to keep an eye on both. What's the best bike or scooter with a rear passenger seat comfort for my girlfriend? Philip, I would say, I think the ADV 160 is a good bike, or is it the NMAX or X-Max? Excuse me, the NMAX or the X-Max? I think either one of those is going to be pretty good. Yeah, both of those should be just fine. And I think you can get aftermarket seat. There's a guy who blogs out of Dumageddon riding with Haro. I think he's got the 160, and I think he replaced the seat. So you can get aftermarket seats too. Kevin, Hawaii 5-0, book him Dano. That's right. Oh, that's great. Am I that far behind? About 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Wow. All right. Yeah. There's no way Paul is leaving the Philippines. Yeah, he's making too much cash, and he would no longer be the Godfather. Hey, he didn't seem to have a big ego when I met him, but no, I think he's happy. I mean, he's got a great life here, especially compared to the West. But maybe not. Maybe he would bounce out to some other areas. I don't know how long. Gio's talked a lot about finishing up his YouTube, and I'm not sure how long Paul would be doing it either. I mean, it's a lot of work, to do it. It is. Yeah. So maybe it's hard to say. He hasn't mentioned anything to me about that one in our encounters. But if you watch his channel, I can see where, a little bit different city for him would be interesting in a lot of ways, and he seems to like that more secluded type of lifestyle, this small town. And there's a lot of that here, right? Yes, book him. Dano, Y50. Dude, Viking. Gosh, I haven't seen you in a while, brother. Holy mackerel. I've caught a live stream. Hey, Chris. How's Chris's spirit over there? Ayala decorated. Yes. I think I got a video coming out on Friday that shows some of the Christmas decorations. We went over to Kenny Rogers Roasters. Yeah. And we got some of the Christmas decorations I think that's coming out Friday. Yeah, the Christmas spirit here is big. It's big, which is nice, right? It gives you a little bit of that sense of home. So yeah, it's good. But yeah, they're decorated out there. Nice to see you, brother. Hope you're good out there, man. Hope all is well. Oh, the Amazon return policy isn't the same anymore. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure. It sounds like they may have changed it. Okay. All right. Yes, per age. Big bike in the Philippines is only good, how to do the mechanics by yourself, unless you're brand new, hard to find mechanics you trust. Yeah, I would say too, along those lines, if you get the Harley, you're pretty much tied to Cebu. Yeah, unless you're a mechanic. And then also too, getting your tools over here. I know guys who are shipping their bikes though. They've told me they're shipping their bikes over, which yeah, I get it. You have to wait until you get to the Philippines to get Remitly account. No, I set all that up before I came here. Now with Wise, they wanted a Philippines phone number. So, and I had some challenges around that. I had to move some phone numbers around when I got here because I didn't have my Philippines phone number, when I was still living in the States. But all that other stuff you can set up. Yeah, you can set up. But just know when you get here, there'll be some moving around. I would set up Remitly before you get here. And then just so you know how it works, and then bring cash with you. I brought 5,000 US with me. And then I would cash in whatever 1,000 at a time and convert over to pesos. So that's kind of how I got into having cash around is, when I moved here, I had cash with me and then just converted it out. So I got used to having, whatever 100,000 pesos. Now I didn't carry that money with me. right? I kept it, locked up. So, yeah, the dreaded time phone. I know, brother. I gotta be careful. The simple thing is to have pants, the hidden zippers, put your valuables in. All right, yeah. Zippers, I think, are key. I think zippers are key. Yep, stuff your stuff in there. Keep front pockets zippers. I have not had any issues, but I'm also, it's the little kids that are tapping on your pockets for that. I'm also when I'm in that, I got my hands on my and Joe has better radar than I do around that. We were in a drugstore one time, and she was like, there was a group of elderly ladies that were around me, but there were a lot of them and they were close, and she was like, check, come here, so she and I didn't, that wasn't on my radar, and she was like, yeah, you got to watch your pockets in that situation. So yeah, America is falling apart. Enjoy. Yeah, man, it's hard, Pound Trader. It really is, and but I'm definitely happier here. I was in a space where there's nothing I could do about it, right? There's nothing any of us, I feel like, can really do about what's going on. And for me, I needed to get out, and these are my best years for sure. I've slid a little bit physically where I'm not where I want to be at, but everywhere else in my life, as far as what I'm up to, my day to day, my ability to have fun in my life and travel around and do things, and just the peaceful side of it. We were talking about that earlier. As you watch your interactions with people when you're here, it's just people are friendly and they're curious. I mean, what is it like to live somewhere where people like you? They're not threatening. They're happy. They're happy to see you. They got a smile on their face. I mean, come on, it's awesome compared to what we're used to. And I hear you, but at the same side, it saddens me that that our home country is in such a despair, right? Oh man, but get here, get out, or go get out somewhere. But I do think it is time to try somewhere else. And there's so many options, right? There's so many options for us to be. Like as gentlemen were pointing out earlier in that video that Paul put out, there are a lot of options for us to go to, and just get out, try it out, and it doesn't make you a bad American. It doesn't make you a bad person for you to go pursue a life where you're happier. I mean, come on, that's what we're built. That's what America's built on, right? It's kind of ironic. Here we are, about ready to go into Thanksgiving and being thankful and trying out. When you look at that history of that holiday, right, when it came about, Americans in a new country and just being thankful for what they have, kind of deal. And here we are out in other countries being thankful for what we have. So I mean, it's built in our genes as an American to gonna go pursue happiness. And so I don't feel bad necessarily about doing exactly that. So anyways, the U.S. government overreacts to every bad thing that happens. Homeland Security should not exist, right? I think that's kind of a relatively new thing, right, JD? Didn't that come about September 11th, I think, right? Actually, a buddy of mine worked for Homeland Security. Yeah. One of the guys I met out here. All right. Good morning from overcast Toledo City. Hey, Paul. Nice, man. Toledo City is not a city you hear a lot about. I really liked it. So my friend, when I first moved to the Philippines, Christine, she was from Balamban. So I'd been down to Toledo City a couple times. It's got a big port city. So if you want to get over to Negros, you can do Toledo to San Carlos there. So yeah, really cool town. It was on my list of places to stay too. What's cool, guys, what's cool about that Toledo City and that area and region is you're close enough to Cebu. You can get here, whatever, in less than 2 hours. But yet you're very much in a kind of it's a province area, right? So really kind of cool in that regard, where you can be in some of these different areas, but also be close to the city if you needed to get back for whatever major medical or a major airport, that kind of deal. So really cool. Well, thanks for being here, Paul. I appreciate it. Galveston County checking in. Is that Galveston, Texas? Ah, Galveston. Is there Galveston, Florida? Well, anyways, hey Brian, thanks for being here. Where am I at time wise? 8:13, 8. All right, not quite 15 minutes. I love Colombia, but the Spanish is why I'm leaving. Yeah, language barrier. I'm an hour outside of Bogota. I'm not staying in Manila. Okay, cool. I like the cooler climates. We'll see how Baguio may visit Tagaytay. Yeah, yeah, good for you, Doug. Yeah, enjoy your run too. I hope that goes well. Talk about a beautiful, beautiful race. I bet you that would be probably an ideal climate too. Yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah, I hope all is well. And I got you. The language, the language is one of the number one reasons why people choose the Philippines over like a lot of Southeast Asia when they're looking to meet a mate and kind of retire, because it is, when you can speak with someone in English, it's especially in the area of relationship, right? Relationships are hard enough, but not having the same language to communicate on, it just makes it even harder. I could not imagine having a Thai girlfriend or Thai wife. Couldn't imagine it. Or someone who didn't speak the same language. I mean, my ex-wife was from Mexico, um, but we spoke in English, and I just couldn't imagine having a long-term relationship with someone who you couldn't communicate with, yeah, easily, right? So I get it, man. I get it. Yeah, good luck on your race, brother. Yeah, really cool. Yeah, good night and good morning. Another great live. Go get some pancakes. You know it, dude. Yeah, we got a little more time. We got some more time. We're gonna keep going here for a while. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here, Jim. Really do. Thank you. I'm heading to San Fernando La Union to do some sailfish fishing. Wow, really cool. Then to the top of Luzon, then ride down to Samar. Okay, cool. I'll be doing some sport fishing videos. I'll open up YouTube after. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice, man. Really nice. Yeah, good for you. And if you're new to YouTube, I highly recommend a training application called Skillshare, as a tool to kind of increase your skill, in like video, and I just think that it's phenomenal. Especially, so I opened up an account here in the Philippines. I think it's like 3,000 pesos for the year, and I have full access to their library. I really think they're a great resource to learn a lot of things. Really, a lot of whatever you're kind of up to. I highly recommend those. They should be reaching out to me for a sponsorship. Anyways, good for you, man. That sounds like a good journey, and fun to document it. I love it, love it. Casey Jones, what we got our tickets to Honolulu on the 27th, and we'll try Manila and Cebu, getting there on the 29th. Hawaii, NRT, yep, and then Cebu. We'll enjoy the adventures no matter how long it takes. Yeah, good for you, Casey. Yeah, that'll be yeah, good times, man. Good times. Heads up, we got a storm. Yeah, for anyone coming in over the next several days, just be careful. There's a storm brewing. I haven't looked at it since last night, but there is a storm brewing. I'll probably settle in Bohol, good place to travel from. Yep, Bohol's great, love it. Yep, I Blue Marlin, excited to go there again. Yeah, yeah, really cool. And Mayan, yes, Mayan Buntag, Magandang Umaga, good morning. Go for the Himalayan if you want to come on some tours off road when I get there. Totally different Philippines than you'll see. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, no, I can't wait, man. So I went to the dealership. I actually shot a video yesterday of the motor race out here in the bike. So I've already talked to them about the Himalayan. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Paul is going to end up in that nursing home. Yeah, I saw that. The guy you interviewed. Maybe we'll drop him off and come back from time to feed him applesauce for lunch. I did see that. And I'm really excited about that kind of services coming to here. As that is something we think about, right? As an aging foreigner, that's one of my concerns. I can barely remember, where I had lunch and what restaurant I'm. Hey Joe, what's the name of that place again? Anyways, so having services like that are available here, I think is I'm excited that those things are being developed and built, for down the road. So yeah, really great. And yeah, I saw that video too. It looked like yeah, like I said, I'm really excited about those types of things happening here. All right, I think it's cough drop time. Benny, hey Chris and Joe, yes, my own Buntag, como está acá? Good here, man. Hope all's good in Florida, brother. Come back soon, man. Gotta get back. All right. Harley touring bikes are over 40,000 in the US. If you ship it from US, you have to pay a lot in import taxes. Yeah, Kevin, but I also think they're whatever 10-20% more here in the Philippines too. So they're not cheap. They are not cheap. Oh no, a lot of pickpocket gang. Lorenzo, where you live in Cebu City, Chris, which A1 hospital is close to you would you go to in case of a major health issue, heart attack, stroke? More importantly, how do you get there? Yeah, so yeah, great question. So there's a couple hospitals. There's the Cebu Doctors Hospital, which a couple of my friends have been to, and they said, Chris, on your channel, one of them was a retired firefighter. I met him just recently. He went there because he had a bacterial infection, and he's like, Chris, I highly recommend this hospital. Tell your guys he had a great experience there, well taken care of. So that's Cebu Doctors Hospital. The other one is called, I can't remember. I can never remember the name of it. See, yeah, thanks, Joe. Chung what? Chunghwa. So Chunghwa is the other one. It's also kind of nicknamed the Chinese hospital. Hey, baby. I'm sleepy. Yeah, she's sleepy. But that would be two great options that you could do here in Cebu. In Manila, I think it's St. Luke's. Mm-hmm. Yes, St. Luke's. St. Luke's in Manila, that's supposed to be like the best in the Philippines. And then in Dumaguete, I can't remember the one there, but Dumaguete's got some good hospitals too. So they're around, brother. They're around. Yeah. Yep. And then how to get there? You just get a cab or a grab. No, I'm joking. I mean, well, I did take a cab. I wasn't having a heart attack. I was having I was sick. Like I don't know if I had COVID or not, but I had a bad flu. But anyways, I took a cab. But they do have ambulances, so you could there's an ambulance service here. More joke. Yes, more joke, more joke. More joke on what? What about Joe made you realize that she's the one for the long-term relationship? What about Joe had made me realize that she's the one for a long-term relationship? You know, so I had met Joe, like I was saying, in Sinulog about a year ago. And I realized right then that she's incredibly intelligent. She's got, for what I wanted to do with YouTube, she's very into social media. She does a lot of stuff with YouTube Shorts and things like that on Instagram. So there was that lined up very, very well. And the fact that she's just like drop dead gorgeous, right? She's beautiful. She's college educated. She's got a great family. Those are all really important things for me when I was looking at a Filipina. And Joe was like, check, 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 check. So there's a lot of boxes that she really checked in kind of those areas. So, and it's been great. Not granted, right? It's a relationship and we have our moments, but we're working through it. And I have no regrets. I knew back in January when I met her, like this was somebody I could really see myself dating long term. And yeah, I'm glad I reached back out to her, and it's going well. Yeah, great question, Phil. Hopefully, U.S. government doesn't have a shutdown. Could affect travel. Okay. Yeah, with TSA. Yep. No, good point. Good point. Tower 2 checking in, brother. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, we've had a little bit of drama here in where we're at. So yesterday morning we got up and Joe steps out of bed and there's like, I don't know, quarter-inch of water all over the floor. There had been flooding that came in. And so we had water all over our apartment. And then the elevators were shut down as a result of that. So we're walking down a lot of flights of steps and up now. So our elevators are still down. They'll be down for a couple days. The water's gone. And our water is back up now. It's working. So we've had a little bit of problems here. But no, I think it's good. Other than we have no elevators, so which is good. I needed to exercise anyways. I've discovered that going down, 30 flights of steps isn't too bad, but going up 30 flights of steps, that's a little bit rough. But good here. But we should do breakfast after if you're around. Congrats on the relationship. Yeah, no, it's great, man. Especially after coming from what we're used to. Unbelievable, right? I mean, unbelievable. If you would have told me whatever, after my divorce, what year, I don't even know what year that was. If you'd have told me, Chris, you were going to have a beautiful 30-year-old girlfriend, I would have said you're crazy. As we would all feel that way, right? But here, no, very much an option, very much to have. And just not only forget about the age, right? But someone who really cares about you, someone who's sweet, kind, feminine, loving. I mean, come on, who cares about the age? Just add that to it. Oh, man. Amazing. Amazing, right? Incredible. Just amazing. Joe's over there giving me the side eye. Yeah. More jokes. What do you call somebody speaking 3 languages? A multi-guest who speaks 2 languages. Bilinguist speaks only one. Yes, exactly. So true. I'm learning, brother. I am learning. Actually, my buddy Scott and I, who's up there, just checked in. He and I are looking to do Basan. We got a tutor who's going to teach us Basan. So we're kind of tag team on that. Both of us going to be doing that and learning the local language. So I want to. Guys, this is home for me. This is home. Unless the country kicks me out somehow, some way, I will be here. This is home. So I'm committed to learn language. When I went to Korea for 11-month project, that's when I decided I would leave the U.S. at retirement. Yep. That's when I started traveling Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Vietnam. People are so nice. It really is. It is so different. And Malaysia, man, it really high on my radar too, as well. Malaysia's got that better infrastructure. But again, I feel get your Filipino wife and then probably bounce over, right? Yeah, I'm with you. My 11-month project turned into 6 years. Well, it sounds like fun, right? Nothing wrong with some long projects that you work on over. That's what I really like about YouTube. As still kind of a younger guy and a busy guy, right? I'm not much of a sitter. I like being active. I like doing stuff. YouTube gives me that project to work on, something to do, something to keep my mind busy, something to, I love this technology. I love gadgets. Are you kidding me? I love this stuff, man. It's just so much fun. Little gadgetry and all that crap. It's great. So having something that we're up to, I think is important, no matter where we're at, no matter what stage we're at in life, right? Younger guys, older guys, So yeah, good for you, brother. When you move to Negros, you have to explore Oldham Caves. Okay. To get to the entrance of the cave, you have to swim across an underground river or an entrance through a hole in the roof. Wow. That sounds like Indiana Jones, man. Digging that. Digging that. I'm down. John. Yeah. Checking in. Oh, yeah. John, we've had some major issues where we're at. We're out. So it started off with no water. They turned the water off in the building to do some repairs. But when they turned it back on, we had some major flooding. Like 3 floors got flooded out. Mine being one of them. And then as a result of that flooding, it shut down our elevator. So we're walking up and down stairs. Yeah, really wild. No. Best airlines for the U.S. Jamie, there's one. Is it Starlux? I think it's Starlux, Jamie. Check them out. I haven't heard of them, but somebody was just talking about them. It's inexpensive. Check them out. I can't remember. I think I flew EVA. They were fine. I didn't have a problem. And I think I paid around $1,500 for my flight, but somebody was just talking sub 1,000 prices on Starlux. So I don't know about the airline. I flew EVA and was just fine. So what's going on with the flood, Joe? Post, yeah. Her legs feeling from the stairs. I know it, man. Yeah. We had a little bit of flood we're talking about. And my legs are, my calves are bellowing. So, but yeah, we've had walking the steps has been a challenge. Yeah, I used Korean Air on 2 different trips to the Philippines. Enjoy the service. That's another one, Benny. Yep. I heard a lot of people talk about Korean Air. I get winded after 7 flights. I couldn't imagine the one. I know, man. Right? Lots of stairs. Yeah. When are you coming back, by the way? I thought you were looking to come back relatively soon, either potential scouting trip or whatnot, or not a scouting trip, but another trip back. So, anyways, let me know when you're coming back. Yeah, Korean Air, I've heard, is really good. Filipino thoughts. Hello. Yes. Mayan Buntag. There you go. Having a yeah. Korean Air has a couple hub. Yeah. I can't remember. It was a Philippine Air. Yeah. Oh yeah. Eva. So I flew Eva from LA. Yeah. LA to Taipei to Cebu. And if you're coming to Cebu, I would try to avoid Manila if you can. We talked about this a lot, right? That the Manila airport is just a little bit tricky to navigate. So if you can avoid it, I would go Taipei to Cebu. Taipei was super easy. But yeah, yep, yeah. It's funny how y'all enjoy the Philippines, but I've never ever been to some other places in the Philippines, just the Manila area. I know, right? Well, I have a lot of Filipino viewers on my channel. I really do, which is great. I love that the locals are actually watching. But and I see that a lot. Like, well, my buddy John, he's like, I've never been to Comodas. So you got a lot of people who live here who watch the channel and haven't been too. So I hear you. Sorry, I got the cough drop here. Asian and Korean Air are both Asian and Korean Air are both Korean airlines that I would say are the best. Okay. Eva is out of Taiwan. Haven't tried them, but willing to give them a try. Yeah, Philip, and that was one of the. So that must be why I went through Taiwan, is because they're out of there. I love going Taipei to Cebu. It's really, really. I think it's a great flight. It's really convenient. All right, Joe. We're all caught up on comments. What should we talk about? Huh? No ideas or suggestions? What do you guys want to talk about? We're at hour and a half. 82 people here. 84 people here. You guys got any questions? Any comments? Any concerns? Any I don't know, video ideas? Where should we live? Pick a topic. We'll go. Huh? Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving in the Philippines? And we talked about that a little bit. Hey, Joe, would you please make me another cup of coffee, sweetie? Oh my gosh. You're so beautiful, babe. Thank you. Wow. All right. Oh, 1 second. 1 second while we got some noise. One second. All right. April is the goal for making the move. Oh, wow. If for some reason I have to stay longer, I'll definitely make another visit. Good for you, Benny. Good for you. Right around the corner. Hey, speaking of which, avoid Holy Week, right? Avoid that Easter. I did a video on that, but I wouldn't travel here around that time. Just because it's a weird time. The beaches are packed, the stores are closed. So avoid the Easter Sunday week, like the week before. I wouldn't travel to the Philippines during that week. And actually, we just hit another week like that. What holiday was that, Joe? Oh, elections. Elections are another time you probably don't want to avoid. You want to avoid. Same kind of scenario where the city is dead and the beaches are busy, and and that was can't remember. Don't take Korean until after. Yeah, don't take until after the fight. Dump that one into Cebu after going around twice. Yikes. Yeah, there's a big storm brewing out there, guys. We want to keep for those in the city, we want to keep, or in the Philippines, we want to keep our eyes to the east to see what's going on. And I think over the next week, been wanting to go to Tagaytay. I do. I think that looks great. I think Tagaytay looks pretty beautiful. I haven't been there, and Luzon will probably be later on my list as far as places to go. But I want to go there. I envision actually riding up from Mindanao all the way up to Leyte, all the way up through Leyte, Samar, and then southern Luzon, and up through that. Once I get a bike I can do that on, I'll be doing that route for sure. Cost of living in Cebu. So it really kind of depends on where in Cebu you're at. It's kind of the cool thing about it is you've got two big foreigner bubbles. Well, probably three big foreigner bubbles. You've got the Cebu Business Park, which is where I live now. You've got IT Park, and then in Lapu-Lapu, you've got Mactan, Newtown. So those are some of the big foreigner bubbles. So if you're in those areas, you expect to pay a little bit more. If you bounce out of those areas, even just a couple blocks, and you're talking about areas, especially like IT Park and the business park, they're not big areas. You're talking maybe 4 or 5 blocks kind of around, small areas. And so if you bounce out of these areas just a little bit, you can save yourself some cash. But like price wise for like the actual condo, you can spend like I would say 18,000 to 25,000 for a studio would be like the average cost of condos in those neighborhoods. And then one bedrooms you could be like 25 to 35 would be the price range that you would spend in pesos, 25,000, so pull up your conversion if you need to, depending on where you're at, Jamie. But yeah, that would be the cost of living as far as housing, which is going to be your big expense. And that changes, as you get out of those bubbles, like I said, or in different areas. I was actually surprised at the cost of housing in Dumaguete, how expensive it was. I was really anticipating like similar 20,000 rents, but for like a one bedroom and bigger area. And it's just, we didn't see that. We saw, in the lower 20s for a one bedroom, but they were just they were gross, right? So anyways, so that's what I would say as far as kind of cost of living for housing. And then, overall budget wise, Jamie, I would say, look, if you can get in the 2 to 3,000 US dollar range, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be great. Can you spend less? Yeah. There's guys that are in, 1,000, 1,500 range. And then that requires just a little bit more work. I think, Jamie, if you're already like a guy who's good at saving money, and you're live that conservative lifestyle in the United States, then yeah, man, there's no reason why you couldn't jump into that here. If you're a guy, thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate that. If you're a guy that maybe likes to spend a little money, like me, I'm into gadgets and crap like that. That's coming here and trying to live on $1,500 US a month just is not realistic. Given my spending habits, I eat out a lot, so it just really depends on you, Jamie, and your lifestyle. Look, if you're a big saver, if you're a big minimalist in wherever country you're in, you're used to living relatively cheap and inexpensively, dude, you could live here on whatever 1,000. I know guys that live in Balamban. I mean, he's less than 1,000, right? So I mean, guys do it. It's just you'd want to already be that guy. Does that make sense? You'd already want to be that guy that's minimalist, that doesn't spend a lot of money. You wouldn't want to try to kind of create that here. You know what I'm saying? So hope that makes sense. Does Joe Philip, how can I answer that question? I cannot answer that question without getting into that. Oh, of course. And I get Tampo, right? I mean, we're humans. Coming here doesn't fix humanity. Coming here doesn't change who you are. Just look, but it's different. And that's one of the things too, Philip, right? Is I think Rike did a video on this, and it's so true. As we're older, we're 50 plus years old, and Joe's in her 30s. We need to bring some patience into those relationships and really get that we're, in a lot of ways, we're mentoring another human being in their life. They just haven't seen it. And it's not like I'm better than Joe. I'm not saying that at all. But at 53 and 30, I've lived almost twice her life, right? So I've just seen more things. So you really take on that mentor role. And in this particular context of Tampo, we work together, and Joe's made some tremendous, I don't even want to say progress because it's just not the right word, but she's just really seen, oh, wow. There was a conversation yesterday where she's like, you know what? I saw this and this kind of thing. So, which, so yeah, you take on that mentoring kind of role in a lot of ways, with that. But, Joe's great. She really is. And we're both humans. We both have our faults and that kind of deal. So I definitely do. I definitely be, he's working professional in a law firm for 20 years, working with attorneys. I can be a little bit on the intense side, right? I have high expectations of people. I have high expectations of people that I surround myself on a daily basis. I really do. I really do. I think that people need to operate at a high level and be committed to a happy life. I can't be around people who are committed to otherwise. I just really can't. I refuse to. I moved out here to be in a happy environment and to surround myself with people who aren't that. Just no way. Now that doesn't mean I don't interact with people, on a whatever. It doesn't impact so much my friendship so much, but I'm not an easy person to live with in that regard. Oh, so wild. Because I just believe too, that you surround yourself, who you surround yourself with, your friends, your partners, and stuff really impacts you, and to, have those relationships work and be powerful and be supporting is really important for us to have, a good life, right? Hold on one second. I need to sip this. What a cool name, Mojana. What are your thoughts or any experiences with Red Planet, Marlin, or hot hotels there by you and Ayala? So I don't know the other one. I do know Red Planet. Benny, my buddy, he stayed there. Um, yeah, so Benny stayed at the Red Planet, said it was just fine. He said, Is it a 5-star resort? No. But is it clean and aircon and all that work? Yes. So the Red Planet right by Yellow Mall is fine. I don't know the other ones, brother. I'm sorry. I don't. I do know the Quest. I know the Quest. They say they're fine. I stayed at the Quest myself. I thought it was fine. They've got a decent breakfast buffet, so those are fine. But if you're looking to save a couple bucks at the Red Planet, yeah, I know people who've stayed there and they said it was okay. Chris H, thanks for the video coming to Cebu in February. Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, yeah, it's exciting times, man. Counting the days, I'm sure. Yeah, Philippine thoughts. No, I live in the U.S. now, married. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, congratulations being out in the States. How are you liking the United States, and where were you at here in the Philippines? What do you think of the differences in the weather? It's really interesting because I'd met, Joe and I had some mutual friends that lived in Manila and are now in Houston, and they're saying it's actually hotter in Houston than it was in Manila. So yeah, I would love your input if you don't mind sharing. Like, what are your thoughts on the weather, and then also too, what are your thoughts on the people there? Hey Chris, can you tell us about your living arrangements? How much and what size have you also tried Bohol? So yeah, I live in a one-bedroom studio. I'm here in Selenia. I'll go ahead and kind of say where I'm at as my time here is pretty much over. I'm in the Selenia Tower right across from Ayala Mall. Freaking love it here. Love it. Highly, highly recommend this property. And, studio, so it's what, 22 square meters, I think it is, right around there. So it's small. It's a studio. Kitchen's right here, front door's right there, bed's right there. It's a small place. But yeah, it's been fine. Um, I do like this arrangement here where I'm right across from the mall. I can just walk over and get lunch, breakfast, whatever. It's just so simple. Let's see. What other questions? Have I tried Bohol? I've been to Bohol a couple times now as I've vacationed and toured around. I've never lived in Bohol. Yeah, I mean, I could see being there. And I can see the appeal why a lot of guys go there. It's out of Cebu, so you feel like you're out of the city. It's a big island. It's massive. It's what, probably 2 to 3 times wider than Cebu. It's not as long as Cebu, but it's a lot wider. It's mountainous. It's beautiful. It's got a big city. It's easy access to Cebu if you need to. So I can really get the appeal of Bohol. And, honestly, it was something I considered living at. So yeah, looks great. Did I answer all the questions there? Yeah, I think so. Arvin, buying a condo versus house in Dumaguete. Oh, good question. Well, I wouldn't buy anything right away. Like if you're new to the Philippines and you haven't been here and you're checking it out, I wouldn't buy. I would just rent, right? So after living here for a while, then you can look to buy a place, especially if you kind of travel around and say, all right, I like this area, I'll buy and build a place. So that's what I would do in that regard. But I'd wait a year before you'd done anything like that, just to make sure, okay, I'm good with the culture, I'm good with that. And then there's that would also give you time to research what it's actually like to buy a place. Can't own property. So there's a whole world that you'd have to research around that, leasing the land and then, that kind of deal. So, but that's what I would do. But a condo is nice. It's got its advantages as well as you could buy the condo, you can outright own the condo. There's no real lease involved. But as far as where and location, that's another factor that's going to be up to you as an individual. Do you want to be in Cebu where there's a bigger city? Would you want to be in more remote like Iloilo or other areas that are not as busy as Cebu? So lot to that question, Marvin, really is, and it's going to be up to you. But I would definitely get here, experience it for a while, and look. I would say there's a couple different avenues that you see a lot of guys do. They go, they either buy a condo, or what they do is they get married and then they build a house, or they lease land and then, or they lease land and then build a house on that. Those are the common ways that guys seem to do it. But yeah, great question. Flew EVA a couple months ago to go to Cebu. Yeah, good airline, nice seats, premium economy. We'll do it again in January. I was a big fan of EVA. I liked it. I liked it too, as we talked about, that it went through Taipei and not Manila. I just felt like it just makes that so much easier. And look, again, nothing against Manila, guys. I'm not Manila bashing. But, as you get into Manila, think about it, right? You just got off a 13-hour flight. Now you got to try to figure out an airport and go here and there. You're a little bit discombobulated. Like I said several times too, I had maybe 3-4 hours in between my flights. I needed that to get to my next freaking gate. I mean, now granted, I slow rolled it, right? I wasn't running by no means, but it did take me a long time to get around that airport. Some of it, like I said, I was just kind of discombobulated. But if you can fly EVA, if you're coming to Cebu, flying EVA going through Taipei to Cebu, I would recommend that route for sure. Treading on a thin line. My 8:47. All right, I'm a little bit behind on my colleague. Yeah, I am. It's a tough one to answer. Hey, Charles, how's it going, brother? Yeah, very wet in Texas. Well, we're gonna be wet here too soon. I think in the next couple days we got some moisture coming our direction. KC, the dentist in the mall can pull molars painlessly. The bride wants to know. I think the Apple dentistry there in the mall is pretty good. As far as we were both impressed. We went and got our teeth cleaned there. They were great. Yeah, we were both really impressed. However, my buddy John, who's a local, he was telling me, Chris, there's cheaper options outside the mall and places to go. But yeah, I think dental care here in Cebu City is on par with Western care for sure. I'm in Canada now and have a unit on the 31st floor. What floors? Oh, okay, yeah. So we're talking Tower 1, David. And what floors? Yeah, I think 20. Yeah, 18, 19, 20 got flooded, brother. Yeah, check in with the front desk, David, if you need to, right? They should be able to kind of help you out. But yeah, we had some flooding, Tower 1. While smiling and enjoying every minute. Good for you both. Yeah, thanks, man. That's what this channel is about, guys. Seriously, I didn't come to the Philippines to create more drama or to create chaos for my life. I came to the Philippines to get away from that stuff, right? And that's exactly what I want to do with this channel: is create a happy, space where we can chat, laugh, and joke, and also to create a community. I met some great friends. I'm Benny, this guy here, Scott, my other brother, Eric, Dan, John, Alvin, Albert. I mean, just guys left and right. Jim. I mean, hundreds of guys. I mean, really. So it's more of that here. Just a feel good space. I have to. I mean, that's what I want to do. That's why I moved here. So thank you for saying that, so I can kind of represent for me what we're doing here, right? Traveling Texan, IT Park and Business Park for a few days in Cebu. Yeah, absolutely. So here's what I would say to that traveling Texan. I would say this, right? If you're doing a scouting trip and looking to move here, absolutely do that. Check these neighborhoods out. If you're just passing through to vacation and kind of spin through here, maybe go out to Lapu-Lapu and stay out at one of the nice resorts. You know what I mean? And then you're more on a vacation mode, and you're in, because they're set up that way. They're really nice. They're beautiful locations. They got all kinds, Plantation Bay. We did a video on that. They got a real cool lagoon and beach and stuff like that. So it just depends, right, brother? If you're here on vacation, Yeah, maybe do Lapu Lapu and some of the beach resorts. If you're on a scouting trip, the opposite. Get away from Lapu Lapu. Stay in the business park. Stay in the IT park because that's probably where you're going to end up, right? Yeah, great question. You say you transfer your money to the Philippines, but you never say how or what service you use. I use Remitly. I use an application called Remitly on my phone. That's exactly what I use, and I'll transfer that. I have my debit card attached to that account, and then I use that to transfer, and it takes 5 minutes. So I transfer myself money, and then I walk across the street and grab the money from the bank, and then that's exactly how it works. The other thing you could do, a lot of guys do, is they use ATM. If you have a Charles Schwab checking account, it's free, as far as those withdrawals. So that's another way you can do it. I have avoided that just because of potential fraud and skimmers and stuff like that. I know people who got their cards locked out and that kind of deal. I do it every now and then. I just did it a couple weeks ago because of a holiday and the banks were closed. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Benny, my lease is up at the beginning of April, so we'll see how it goes. Nice, dude. Chippy, Manila has lots of nice areas. People like to complain about it, but it's a very interesting place. Yeah, Chippy, it's not completely off my radar. I want to go there. There were so many other places that I wanted to explore. When I looked at it, the Science they checked a lot of those boxes for me, right? The Cebu area, Bohol area, Negros, Mindanao. I'm really Leyte, Samar. Those are all regions I'm really interested in. Now, Luzon is great. Look, I'm not bashing it. I'm really not. It's kind of like everything else in life. Coke versus Sprite. It's all preference. It's all what you like. And for me, that this region in particular, Cebu City, really, especially first time getting here, major airport, not as busy as crowded, easy access to some of these more touristy spots like we mentioned. It worked for me, but beautiful up there as well in Luzon. Lots to do and see too. So on the bowling alley and IT park video, yeah, dude, let's go. I've never been a big bowler. Do you bowl, Joe? Perfect, right? Let's pop up the kiddie lanes and let's go bowling, brother. I'm down, man. Let's do it. SMC side also has some bowling. SMC side also has a freaking archery range. Dude, that looks cool too. We gotta go. Let's go, man. I'm down. What's that? Arcade, yeah. Besides where you live next to ILSC, where would be your plan? So if I was thinking, Lorenzo, if I was just thinking in Cebu, I would go to IT Park, right? So I think that would be another option. An IT Park. I think IT Park, the business park, are perfect places for us to get adjusted and land. And then Iloilo, Bacolod City. I think those are two other options as well. I think Davao City is another option for me. Yeah, Dumaguete was and still is. Honestly, I got really discouraged with the housing. Really discouraged with the housing there that I saw. It's just gross and expensive, And then but other than that, Dumaguete looks all right. I'd say Dumaguete is good if you want to. If you're like, I met a couple guys like really good. Shout out to Chuck, right? Guy from Oklahoma, just good country guy. Dumaguete is perfect for that guy, right? And perfect for that type of guy. If you're from Oklahoma, Nebraska, if you're country, you're a farm guy, you like that type of way, that's your Dumaguete. Small town vibe and a good foreigner presence, which, guys, is important, man. As much as we want to get away from the West, having some guys that you can connect with, you'd be surprised how much and you don't have to, right? You don't have to go to Ground Zero and hang out there and have breakfast with the guys, but you can. And having that is really, I'm telling you, it's try plopping yourself in the middle of a rice field when you first get here, man. You're gonna have some jitters after a little while. I wouldn't recommend it. Not initially, anyways. Not initially, unless you're used to being in the remote sections, which you're probably not connected to the YouTube at that point. Really kind of funny, but yeah, Cebu City, I would do IT Park or the business park. Long answer to that question, Lorenzo. Hospitals. Okay. I don't know that hospital. close to Cebu Business Park. All right. Yeah. Okay, buddy. Yeah, appreciate that. I went to one. I can't remember which one I went to. I called down the front desk. Got a phone right behind me. I called down the front desk and said, "Hey, I need a cab to the hospital. I'm sick." And they took. Then I went somewhere. I don't know which one I went to. I have no idea which one I went to. I was sick. Yeah. So that's another thing, real quick, guys. The bugs are different here, right? Like the viruses and stuff. Everyone that I've met, they get a bug and they get sick. And a couple guys recently got bacterial infections, like with their stomach, and had to get antibiotics to kind of clear that stuff out. So just a heads up, you're gonna be a little bit, your immune system is gonna be a little bit challenged that first 6 months or so that you're here. So just kind of plan for it. Get yourself some medications and stuff like that ahead of time. What's that? BioFlu. Yeah, there's some stuff you're gonna want to get ahead of time. Imodium. Just get ready for when it happens, because the bugs are a little bit different and your body will adjust. Second, did I skip over that? Let's say, why Joe? Why did you join a live chat? We're trying to find. So there's a couple of reasons why around that. One of them, what I used to do, and I kind of want to do, is I used to cut up my lives into shorts. So it didn't work so well for us both to be on camera for that purpose. I haven't been doing that recently, but the other part is we're just in a small, cramped place. What we thought about doing that would solve a lot of that is to dial her in on a second laptop, but then she'd have to be in a different space. So, but you're right, she's much more better to look at than this guy. I'm with you. But there were some factors around that too. But mainly space wise too. It's a little bit hard for right where we're at. I really have one chair, and yeah, a little bit of a challenge. JC, what type of Western tendencies of yours did Joe have to change, like over tipping, being too loud, wearing your undies way too long before he switched out? Yeah, right off the bat, great question, brother. Right off the bat, I would say over tipping has been one that I get a little bit reminded of. So, in particular, there'll be restaurants that have a service charge in the receipt already built in, and then at that point, she's like, "Chris, don't tip." But no matter what, I just leave 50 pesos. And then taxi cabs tipping has been one that, like, I just give 50 pesos pretty much everywhere and anywhere. It's $1, right? So it's not a lot, but that's been one. What other tendencies did I have changed, Joe? Can you think of anything? Being too loud. I don't think I'm a loud person. I'm a little bit noise sensitive. So I like things a little bit quiet. Yeah. Over tipping, maybe a little bit intense is another one. She's over there. It's just, guys, when you live, yeah. We'll give you bowling options next time we meet. All right. John's got some bowling options coming up. What you just said about having high expectations with those close to you, I get it. Yeah, that's me. But the older I get, the less I view the world through my eyes, the more just letting people be who they are. Yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah, I can't wait for you to come out. We need to meet. Chris Flooding, sure them. Yeah, I know a good lawyer. Sue them. Nothing was damaged. So we keep pretty much everything off the floor because I have a little robot vacuum that I brought with me to the United States. And so we keep everything off the floor. So nothing was really damaged. My ukulele chord chart that I was kind of flattening out, that got damaged. But that's the only thing we had to throw away. Yeah, Benny. Yeah, thanks, man. How far behind am I? About 15 minutes. The Red Planet is basic and small, but clean and cheap. My philosophy is I'm there for the Philippines experience, not to. Yes, Benny, it's a great point because we've done a little bit of this in our travels too, and sometimes it's bit us in the butt, right? Where we did this in Bohol, where we stayed at this place. I mean, gosh, my buddy that was the retired firefighter is like, this was worse than jail. So you can go too cheap. And but we've been there, and we just basically get out of there. And then we went to Henan, which was 10,000 pesos a night. But yeah, so you can go too cheap, and then you can really pay the price. But yeah, I think the Red Planet, clean, that kind of deal. And I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And that's the problem that we had too, is when we went to this really nice, beautiful Henan resort, we didn't go anywhere else. We just stayed there. We went in the pool and sipped mango shakes all day. So yeah, it is a fine line of getting a place that functions well enough for you to sleep comfortably, and then experience the Philippines versus a 5-star resort where you don't do anything else other than sit in the resort all day, right? So yeah, good stuff, Benny. Seriously though, sorry to hear that. I hope they fix the issue. Yeah, no, John, it's actually all good now. The only thing we're dealing with, the elevators are still down, so we're walking up and down the steps. But as you've noticed, I've actually I need to be walking up and down the steps, so it's a blessing in disguise. And I've discovered that walking down flights of steps is easier than walking up. But we did get a little bit concerned with the coming storm. That just added kind of another layer of, oh crap, to our environment. We were considering going out to Bacolod City, but now it's kind of too late. Last minute flights, I think we're around 4,000 pesos for each of us. Yeah, but I think we should be good. We're hunkering now. We're going to go to the grocery store today, I think, and get a bunch of groceries for the store. After visiting Dumaguete, do you have any plans to go back there soon? I'm there now, visiting from Thailand, and I'm looking forward to exploring. Yeah, I mean, Dumaguete is so my lease is up in like a month. So I'm moving. I got to move somewhere. And Dumaguete is kind of where I'm looking, but I'm a little bit discouraged as far as housing. So part of me is secretly, not so secretly, I guess, as of this second, if I say it, but part of me is secretly looking at Bacolod City as an alternative option, just simply because of the housing issues that I'm seeing with Dumaguete. So I would say probably either Dumaguete or Bacolod is where I'll be after December. Another option is extend here through January at least, just so I can be here in Sinulog. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. But I really love Cebu City. I've made freaking great friends here. I mean, several guys are here right now, right? So I'm a little bit torn as far as leaving this city. But what I envision is spending probably maybe 3 months or so going to Dumaguete, spending time there, spending several weeks in Siquijor, like spending some time there, and then traveling that Negros Island, and then probably come back to Cebu City, and stay here. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at, kind of the early part of 2024 there, and then also potentially, whatever, maybe not, maybe I also talked about going to Davao City. So there's kind of a lot that I'm considering. Nothing really set in stone. Drives Joe crazy, by the way, this whole thinking out loud way of living. Valencia. Yeah, Valencia looks great. It is. It looks nice. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. John. Hey, Chris. Hey, Joe. Hey, everyone. Hey, Chris. I walk 4 miles in the morning and 4 miles in the early evening. Do you find it easy to walk around? I live in suburbia, and it's easy to walk here. Thoughts? Yeah, yes and no, John. I recommend this for anyone who's coming here. One, definitely bring a good pair of walking shoes with you. And I did this the first probably 2 or 3 months. I walked everywhere. I would walk. There was days I hit over 25,000 steps in a day. So I'm in like walking hours. So is it doable? Absolutely, John. But it's a little bit different walking. You got to be really mindful of the sidewalks. They're uneven. They're not, pristine sidewalks. You got sometimes cords hanging down. You're going to have obstacles and things like that you can walk through. But can you do it? Yeah, absolutely. I would also bring a camel pack, right, for hydration. Also, a nice pack, and you can put wet wipes and that kind of deal in there. Those are things I would have with you, when you get here. But yes, you can do that. And it's not like walking in the woods. It's not like walking on a bike path. It's not like that at all. There's going to be obstacles, but you can definitely do it. And I recommend it, just to kind of get the lay of the land. There's no way better than just walking around your immediate area. And Cebu City is small. I mean, it's a big city, but it doesn't like cover a lot of areas. It's really, really compact. I mean, I've walked most of the city, honestly. Some days I'll walk whatever, a couple hours north or an hour north and south. And then, my buddy, freaking Eric, man, the guy freaking walked out to Lapu Lapu. I mean, that guy walks everywhere, and he does. He puts in 20 plus hours of steps a day. So but there's some areas you probably would, you don't want to walk across bridges and things like that. So it's a little more harder of walking than probably what you may be used to if you got like designated sidewalks. And when I think of states, there's that. It's more city walking kind of deal. But yeah, absolutely doable for sure. Yep. Great question, John. All right. Howdy, Big C. Hope all is well. Do you guys hear any rumblings of China attacking Philippines, or is it just government propaganda here in the States? I don't. So a couple things around that, Hex. I don't really watch the news too much, a little bit. So like I'll see YouTube news things kind of come up where there is kind of whatever, there's stuff going on and with ships and stuff like that. But I don't hear much about it. It's not a conversation also with my Filipino friends that's there. There is some chatter in the background. Obviously, Pamela, she was out here, vice president, and they're, opening up bases again here, several bases that are going to be opening up. So clearly there's some things going on. Is it something that I hear about on a regular basis? Not at all. Hardly ever do I hear about it. But it's also too kind of in my wiring and why I moved here to kind of run away from a lot of that kind of stuff and fear-based media. But there's I think some concern. There's some things going on there that I think needs to be on our radar, right? Yeah. Also, do you think you will need some extra income after retiring so young? I'm terrified of running out of money. So my concern is really the next 8 years. Once I get to 59 and a half, I'm fine, man. I'll have more than enough to retire. But I do need to be careful between I'll be 53 in a couple days. Right, Joe? Yeah, it'll be 53 in a couple days. I got to be careful between 53 and 59 and a half. I'll be honest. I got it. And that's part of the goal of this channel is to kind of give me a little bit of that cushion, right? Once I hit 59 and a half, I'll be fine between my assets and Social Security. I'll be no problem at all. No problem. I'd spent the last close to 20 years maxing out my 401k. So it would be good there. But getting to 59 and a half, losing a little bit of hair over that. Still catching up on your videos. Why are you moving? Yeah, no worries, Chris. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and I recognize you from the comments too. Yeah, so I signed a year lease here in Cebu City. I've been here a year. And so really looking at what's next. I do want to explore, when I talk to guys who have been here for quite a while, Paul and Mike and those guys, they both say similar stuff where they wish they traveled around a little bit more before settling down. So that's kind of really my goal as well, is to kind of travel around a little bit. There's several cities that were high on my list before coming here and landing in Cebu. And I really felt like I got a good deal with this apartment. So I went ahead and signed a year lease. But now that lease is expiring late December, I really want to check out like Dumaguete. I want to check out Bacolod City. I want to check out Iloilo. So those are all parts of the Philippines I want to look at. But, living here the past year in Cebu City, I really, really love it here in this town. And I'm a city guy, right? Like I like the idea of walking out of my place, finding, food, street food, restaurants, movie theaters. I like that, lifestyle. I really do. I like condo living. I got a swimming pool. I got a gym. I got access to, all kinds of amenities. I like that. If I was to walk out my house and have it like a dirt road with an open field somewhere, that's not as appealing to me as walking out and having things to do and entertainment. And look, that's just me, right? That's not that either one is right, that like one is better than the other. They're not. It's just, for me, that's what I like, and there's a lot of guys that like, I can't be in the city. I want to walk out. I want to be right on the beach. I don't really care about movies and stuff like that. I want to be where I can just kind of be by myself, and nothing wrong with that either. It's not my wiring, right? So it's what's really interesting about when people ask the question, where's the best place? You really have to look at yourself. What is it that I want, right? And so a lot of options. But I want to say about that though, one of the things that's surprising to me coming from Colorado is, Colorado's vast. You can get in the backcountry and you can be lost, right? You can be miles without seeing anybody. Here, even when we're in the remote, like Osmeña Peak area, there's still people, right? There's still towns or cities. So I really kind of like that, especially as a foreigner who might be traveling solo. And a lot of times, it's like you're never alone, which I think is beneficial as a new guy coming. So really interesting. The the bride has a couple top back molars that need. Okay, the bride has a couple of top back molars that need to be pulled. We figure 5 days in Cebu before being able to get a balcony suite from the ferry to. Okay, Osmeña. Wow, cool. Should be able to find best care. Should be. Yeah, 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 yeah. We love Cebu. Yeah, I know the Apple Dentistry there in Ayala Mall here at the Terraces. That's the only one I have experiences with, and I find them they were very professional, great dentistry. And in the United States, I would go 3 times a year to get my teeth cleaned. So I'm definitely a fan of dentistry and have been for 20 plus years. So Apple Dentistry was on par with the service that I had received in the United States for sure. Great people over there. They were young too. Yeah, young, like whatever, 30s or so, right? Yeah, yeah, young. And the dentist does all the stuff. There's not really a hygienist. Enjoyed your last video with Joe about dating. So girls shy away from guys who reach out to them, but you say go to the malls, public places to meet. Yeah, bloke. So that's another thing that's really been there for me is as guys are coming here and dating in the pursuit of dating. I met a guy recently, no kidding. He's like, gosh, I've been here for 3 days and I haven't met anybody. And both Joe and I are like, really, so there's this expectation that like there's just girls there, and there are a lot of girls, but it's also really different in the fact that they're shy, right? And so I would say that my buddy Eric was asking that question in that video too about the gym, so I would just the good ones, the good Filipinos, the Filipinos are probably not going to come up to you. They're just not going to. The girls that do come up to you, they might be a professional, right? If that makes sense. So you want to be careful around the girls, not always, but they could be. So you just want to be very sincere and cautious in your approach. Take time, right? Like if there's a girl that you're seeing in a store that you're like, oh wow, she's really beautiful, I'd really like to get to know her. Find a natural way to kind of get to talk to her, but do it over weeks, right? Don't try to fast gun it. Don't try to, hey, how you doing? Here's my phone number. We should get together sometime. Don't print out business cards with your phone numbers on that. Every guy tries to do that. Just really be natural, be sincere. Oh, we need more Calgon. Be natural and sincere in your approach on meeting women here, and you'll find great girls. You really will. Sweet, kind, loving girls that just want, yeah, nothing to do but better. Sorry, we got a call from downstairs. So, but yeah, show your last video. Yeah, so just be. That would be my approach on that. What do we got, Joe?
They want to come into our unit to check if there's leakage in our room.
Okay.
But I said to come here at 10 a.m.
Okay, good. All right, good. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. Seaside also has ice skating. Yes. SM Seaside has a big ice skating rink on the top floor that you can do. Yeah, we're an incredible mall, right? Huge mall. Lots going on there. Fold your money in your wallet so you can take each bill out separately, not the whole wad. Yes. The other thing I do around my money in that regard that I don't know if I have here handy, but I fold it with the small bills exposed, not the big bills. So when I open my wallet and have my cash, I have small bills there so they don't see that. But yeah, great advice, Robert. Like button, people, it's free. Yes, like button is free. Smash it. Smash. Hey, Chris and Joe. Yeah, I love watching you guys. Hey, thank you, appreciate it. What dating site do you guys recommend for a P9 to find a good foreigner? Oh, for a P9 to find a good foreigner. Well, there's a couple sites that I hear frequently. One is Christian Filipina, and the other one, honestly, is Date in Asia. A couple things about Date in Asia, though, I gotta highlight. So Joe and I have been on Date in Asia. That's how we met, honestly. I've met a lot of great friends through Date in Asia, even guy friends, right? Like so, because Date in Asia is like a big chat room, and you chatting with everybody, and so, but you Date in Asia, you really want to be careful with what you say. Like you can't talk anything political. You got to be really careful. It's a complete G-rated conversation, and then so just be because you get yourself banned, you get yourself kicked off like that. If you don't, so just be very mindful and careful of that. But I would recommend Date in Asia. What do you got, Joe?
I have a fake profile on Christian Filipina. Someone used my pictures. They took it from the Date in Asia. But between the two, I think Date in Asia is much better because there are active moderators, active admin, which can easily, uh, you know, uh, assist you on your report regarding a certain profile. Unlike Christian Filipino, would probably take days to take action. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think those two sites are the better one. Date in Asia. The one thing I like about Date in Asia, like I said, it's that big community space. I've met guy friends on Date in Asia, Jay and Alex and Kevin, right, and just a bunch of guys. Honestly, I've actually made more guy friends on Date in Asia, but I know a lot of guys. I think regular guy uses Date in Asia, so I think you can definitely use it. It's there, but just be mindful when you're in the chat room. No politics, nothing. Yeah, you got to be really, really G-rated in that conversation. But I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, I would say those two would be my top picks for apps. But just like any of that stuff, right? It's no different than in the West. You're gonna have to go through a lot before you maybe find someone who is really, you've got your share of scammers and professionals and that kind of deal on those sites. So on both directions, you've got scammers, guys, you know, yeah, yeah. Jack Tripper. Oh my gosh, there's a name. Yeah, where can I meet a nice girl in Cebu? I would go, yeah, SM City. I would go to SM City and have lunch there every day, or hang out at a coffee shop in IT Park and around a shift change. Right? Yeah, that's what I do. What's your opinion on Tagbilaran? Okay, I was considering it because of Ace Hospital and proximity to the airport. Yeah, Tagbilaran's great. That's in Bohol, right? Yeah, yeah. Tagbilaran's great. I like it. I do. I think it's a great town, and that area would be where I would be too. The other nice thing about Tagbilaran is so if you went out to Panglao for resorts, so let's say you wanted to do a resort night, you go out there and have dinner and hang out, right? Tagbilaran's great. I would pick maybe on the northeastern side of Tagbilaran. I don't know it enough, but as I just kind of think about that area, that northeastern part of Tagbilaran would give you access to Panglao as well as the city. But there might be better areas, right? As I'm just thinking about it. I've done no research of living there, but yeah, I do think it's a good option. I think Rike lives in Bohol, right? I'm not sure where he's at, but I think he's around there. What Filipino foods do you need to stop eating for the sake of your physical health? Avocado cream pie.
The desserts.
Yeah, the desserts. Yeah, the Al Capone donuts. Oh my gosh, those things are so good. Yeah, and the avocado cream pie. I'm going to be doing a video on that. That is so delicious, so delicious. And the mango shakes. I'm moving from Chicago to a rice field. Yes, Kevin. Yes, you are, man. You are moving from Chicago to a rice field. I didn't recognize you there, brother. I see you now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So cool, man. I can't wait to do some riding with you, man. Good for you, man. Do you recommend paying with cash or using Gcash? I've heard there are a lot of places that don't have change, which is a bit crazy. Philip, I use both. I use Gcash, and I mainly use cash though for everything. I do highly recommend Gcash though, to pay your bills. Like I pay my electric and my internet and my phone bill with Gcash. Love that. I also have my Grab set up with my Gcash. Um, but as far as restaurants and stuff like that, I usually just pay cash. And the reason around that is because of cell service. Sometimes, like in Iowa Mall or wherever, where you might not have the best cell service, and using Gcash on your phone has been a little bit cumbersome. But Gcash is really phenomenal. I use both a lot, quite a bit, Philip. Randy, I compared it to brother, man, so great connecting with you. Oh yeah. So this is we traveled around together. We went to bowl. So this is the guy, retired firefighter. Thanks again, man, for your service as a firefighter. We've shared a lot of stories about my experiences with the fire department. But yeah. So this is the guy we traveled with around, and about the really bad apartment, really bad hotel that we all got in, and then we went to this beautiful, nice resort. But yeah, good for you. Glad you made it home safe. Good trip. That was really fun. Lots of laughs in that trip for sure. Wet wipes and yes, you gotta carry your wet wipes. It's key part of your kit, and that's why I like my Camel Pack. In my Camel Pack, I'll have you got your hydration, and then you got your wet wipes too that you can carry. So yeah, the bloke depends on how you approach him. Yeah, you're a bit shy. Yep, smiling and giggling, and the smiling and giggling is good, but it's not always. They could just be whatever. The smiling and giggling is an interesting part for me because at first I thought it was a flirting thing, and it's not always. It could just be that they're shy and that you're actually just even talking to them, right? So it's not always a flirting behavior, but it's better than the alternatives, right? Yeah, I think dating sites has its scammers, fakes. Yeah, just got to have patience in finding a good one. Absolutely, absolutely. A November baby. Yes, I will hit 54 in a few days. 1969 here. Yeah, happy early birthday, brother. Yeah, too. A couple days. 1970. Yeah, yeah. 53. Man, crazy, crazy. Benny, Chris, did you check with Joe to confirm when your birthday is? Oh, so true, brother. Oh, I love it. Gotta laugh at myself. Oh, man. Oh, so true. Signing your lease, how much did you have to put down? Do you anticipate any issues getting your security? Yeah, it's a good question, Lorenzo. I don't know. I've heard the same thing that you almost never get it back. I think how much did I put down, Joe? No, oh my God. I did first. I did think I did 2 months. I don't remember honestly. I think I did 2 months. But yeah, I've heard that is a challenge. That you don't ever get it back. But yeah, I think 2 months security deposit is what I put down on that. So it was like what 40,000 pesos, I think. So we'll see. It's coming up. Late December is when we're done here. Jamie, thanks for all the information. I'm happy for you. Yeah, Jamie, thanks for being here, man. And thanks for asking questions and being a part of the conversation. Thanks, man. Your birthday. Here's an IOU and not the super sticker. Good for lunch on my one boots at the ground. Hey, looking forward to it, brother. Really? Yeah, no, I'm really actually looking forward to meeting up with you and chatting. So let me know when you're back in town, when you're in town. Jack Tripper. It's getting so hard to meet a nice lady boy nowadays. Dude, they are everywhere. They're a lot. Sometimes it's hard to spot. Made that joke on Mike's channel, right? He's like, you got to check the bone structure. But it can be hard to spot. I know several guys I've met recently. They're like, all I'm meeting are lady boys. I just moved out of. Oh yeah, Kylix. So this is a place that people talk about. Yeah, so this Kylix residence condos in the business park. I'm hearing a lot about this place here. I need to go check that out. A lot of good reviews on this place. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that name. Is it the presence in my mind, at least for the next 30 seconds, anyways.
You want me to remember that?
Yes, Joe. Thank you. Much appreciate all your info and insights. Yeah, no, my problem. Yeah, thanks for thanks for being here. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here in just a little bit. I've spent some time in CDO, and it's often overlooked. Yes, Jack, I agree. CDO, look, CDO was on my radar initially. Cebu City, CDO, Iloilo, or maybe Davao City too. And seriously, but yeah, I'm with you. CDO is often overlooked. Good sized city, but easy to get out of nature. Not many furniture. Jack, you're right on, brother. You're right on. I'm definitely going to be going to CDO. Even just spend a couple weeks. I want to be out there and check it out for myself. I want to see what it's like. At least a week. I want to spend a week in some of these towns and areas, and I kind of envision doing that really over this next coming up 3 months. It's coming up for me because I don't want to spend rent in two different places. I want to try to bounce around, and I'm really formulating that plan right now. So yeah, really cool. And you're right on. You're right on, Jake. Casey Joe and CDO is awesome, close to high elevation and pine trees. Great town. I love it. Hey guys, coming into Cebu around 10 p.m. in a couple weeks, flying out next a.m. to Davao, recommended for a hotel overnight. I would stay right there in Lapu-Lapu. I would not look to come into town. I don't know any hotels, but just to give you a general sense, stay in Lapu-Lapu. Don't try to come into, just because you're going to add yourself travel time, and that getting on and off from Lapu-Lapu to Cebu, that can be a nightmare depending on traffic. So yeah, I would just stay there in Lapu-Lapu. Sorry, I don't have anything better than that. KC, there's a nice, okay, there, perfect, nice, beautiful. Oh yeah, the waterfront. Yeah, there's a waterfront right there, actually attached. There's a waterfront attached to the airport right there. Exactly, I would stay there. Yeah, it's a nice place. It's okay. It's all right. I did stay there actually on my fly out, and I stayed there in August of last year. Yeah, great call. Yeah, great call, Casey. Appreciate that. Let's say your stomach is upset and you have to drop chow all of a sudden. What is a real bathroom situation where you're at and traveling? Therefore, TP cleanliness, no commode, just a thought. Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised about bathrooms in general. I think bathrooms, to me, were one of the shocks in how clean they are. The bathrooms here are immaculate. Yeah, so really clean bathrooms. However, they don't really have tissue in the bathrooms. So you have to kind of either, like in Ayala Mall, I don't think there's tissue in any of the stalls, but they do have it by the sink. So you can grab tissue as you're coming in before you go in the stall, or just carry it with you. I'm telling you, that's the best bet to do, is carry wet wipes with you. So yeah, bathrooms in general are pretty clean. They're pretty abundant. The other thing about being a man is public peeing is pretty much, it's commonplace. So, and as an aging man, I'm telling you, man, I freaking love that. I can pee anywhere, and that's great as a 53-year-old male who's trying to stay hydrated. Love that, right? You can just go. So yeah, really interesting. Thing. But the other thing, I've done some videos. The bathrooms are really open too. You have a lot of open bathrooms that are, just urinal. You can pretty much you drive by and you see the urinal. I wonder who's behind Joe's fake profile. Yeah, that might make a good video, Chris. Someone reached out to us and said, "Hey, there's a fake profile on Joe," and I was just laughing. That's when I saw Carefree Chris in another thing. That's when you know you made it, when people are doing that kind of stuff. It's funny. I'm joking, right? All right. Thank you for your recommendations. I have plenty of good, educated single friends in their 30s that are just waiting for a determined guy to catch them. Well, I meet a lot of foreigners who are looking for single Filipinos, so we should probably talk. There are a lot of, I know a lot of guys who struggle finding dates. They really, look at there's a lot of guys right here who are like, hey, how do you find Filipinas? How do you find, that? Because I think it is, because a lot we'll meet these girls that sometimes are scammers or whatever, and get discouraged. I myself, didn't date for like 5-6 months. I had girls that would approach me and kind of come up to me, but they were all professionals, and that kind of deal. And I just wasn't. Not that I don't. I'm not judging people who do that. Because I understand, right? Given where we come from, it just wasn't for me, right? But that's kind of the stuff that would approach me. So, yeah, it's hard to make. Just like in the West, I feel like it's hard for people to meet. It's hard for people to meet, no matter where you're at. And there's so many girls here that want to meet us, and then just trying to find that way for people to kind of link up. I think it's just as hard here as it is anywhere. Yes, thumbs up, Bill. Appreciate it. Getting close to pancake time. It is. It is. Another great live, another great day. Thanks for your time and info. We are caught up in comments. We've been at 2 hours and 36 minutes. We still have 77 people on and a lot of great questions, which is why I really kept this rolling. But I really do think we're going to cut it off here. We got people coming up from the condo to check the water stuff that we were just sharing about. So we're going to bounce it out here. Guys, thank you. I mean, thank you for allowing me to do this. Such an honor to do this and to be chatting with you guys and making friends. I mean, this is really, really cool. I love it. So I appreciate you guys giving me the chance to do this and supporting me and being here. So thank you so much. And can't wait to see everyone here that are coming in. It's really, really a good time. Yep. So yeah, appreciate it, brother. I can't wait to do some riding with you. Seriously, I mean, this is a dream. This is really a dream. So take care, everyone. Emping, Salamat, Ayo. See you guys.